Zhang Cheng didn't stay at home for a few days. After attending Qin Jin and Yu Xinran's college entrance banquet, he was ready to report. Chen Ru always wanted to bring more food and supplies. I wish I could bring all the meatballs from my phone at home. But Zhang Chengdu didn't want to take him with him. After all, Kyoto was too far away and it would be inconvenient to have more. What's more, Zhang Cheng is now rich and can buy it himself in Kyoto if necessary. Zhang Cheng didn't ask his family to send him off when he checked in. He just carried a bag and set out simply. I took the sleeper train for 11 hours. Shuimu University, here I am again. After a familiar journey, Zhang Cheng arrived at the new student registration point. Registration, dormitory assignment, etc. were pretty quick. Zhang Cheng was the last one to arrive at the dormitory. He didn't expect that his roommate would arrive so early. Okay, everyone is here. Let's divide the brothers into brothers on a first-come, first-served basis. I'm the first one to come, and my name is Hao Yongjun. If you're quick, we'll call you Brother Yang. The tall man sitting on the bed on the left side had one of his hairy legs hanging on the side of the bed. Zhang Cheng is new and silent. That's not possible. How can calling brothers be such a child's play? I suggest that we do a set of mathematics competition, papers and see who gets the highest score and who is called brother. A man sitting on the right side was playing with a notebook. Wearing a blue shirt, a pair of dark trousers, and leather shoes, he directly proposed a new approach with a look of disdain. TCH, we are not from the Department of Mathematics. We are competing against information competition. The man on the left also raised objections. He is not tall, only about 1.6 meters tall, but he wears dark glasses and looks very muscular. Well, you came last, what do you think? Hao Yongjun, a tall man, snorted and asked Shang Zhangcheng directly. Zhang Cheng could only choose the bed closest to the door, put down his luggage first, and stretched his aching waist. When I heard that I was asked, I humbly said, I don't care. I just listen to everyone and do whatever I want. Oh, this brother's name? Karen, Zhang Cheng. The man with glasses also stood up, but is he the Noi gold medalist? No. The man in blue shirt turned his head, is that the CMO gold medalist? No, I have never participated in these competitions. Zhang Cheng shook his head. Hao Yongjun laughed and said, then you are the fourth brother. Let's compete on 3 questions. I, Zhu Jian, will accompany me, said the short man wearing glasses. HMPH, I, Shu Saiyuan, must be the first brother. The man in blue shirt snorted coldly. Hao Yongjun put his hand on the edge of the bed and jumped down. When he stood in front of Zhang Cheng, he realized that his height of 1.8 meters was nothing. The Hao Yongjun in front of him was nearly 1.9 meters tall, making him look tall and strong. There is a faint suffocating pressure. Zhu Jian took out a piece of paper and said, I have a question in my hand. It's a math question. How about we all try to see who can solve it in the shortest time? No, Shu Saiyuan objected, you must have done this question before. Then I won't do it. As long as you can do it, I'm willing to rank third. Zhu Jian was confident, but if you can't do it within half an hour, just call me boss. Hao Yongjun snorted, isn't it a world problem? Of course not. This is a question asked by my teacher. Zhu Jian said proudly, to be honest, although I haven't read it for a long time, I already have an idea. Zhu Jian gave the question to the two of them. Suddenly, the dormitory became quiet. Zhang Cheng leaned over and glanced at it. Hey guys, this is a competition simulation question. In the acute triangle ABC, AB greater than AC, let R be its circumcircle, H be its vertical center, F be the vertical foot derived from the vertex A, M be the midpoint of side BC, Q be a point above R, making. A simplified diagram is attached. Several people came from the competition. When they got the question, they thought about it for a while. Then, they each sat down on their seats, took out a piece of white paper, drew a picture and started the journey of verification. Zhang Cheng had already built a diagram in the computer inside his body, and quickly drew auxiliary lines while thinking. This question is indeed somewhat difficult. 10 minutes later, Hao Yongjun and Shu Saiyuan already frowned. It was approaching noon and the dormitory was very hot. However, neither of them noticed and were still experimenting. Zhang Cheng tried more than 10 solutions in the internal computer. But there are always some failures that cannot be proven. Time passed bit by bit, and Zhu Jian felt a little excited. Hey, what's wrong with me being small? Why can't I be the boss? When it was almost 25 minutes, Zhu Jian said, how about another half hour? What the FK? How did you get the question to be so difficult? Hao Yongjun was a little discouraged. Xu Saiyuan is a CMO gold medal player. Now he has some clues, so he continues to seek verification without saying a word. Zhang Cheng opened his eyes and raised the corners of his mouth. How about I give it a try? Zhu Jian turned to look at Zhang Cheng, a little suspicious. Do you understand? It's not bad. Zhang Cheng smiled. It's just high school geometry knowledge. Zhu Jian said angrily, come on, I'll give you the pen and you can do it. Zhang Cheng did his part and took over the pen. Well, there is still a way to prove that these two triangles are circumscribed. First, draw a perpendicular to HQ from point H, HD, and intersect BC, or its extension at D. As he spoke, Zhang Cheng argued step by step. At this moment, Hao Yongjun stopped doing the questions and came over to listen together. 30 minutes passed quickly, and Xu Saiyuan was still doing the questions and did not come over. Therefore, it can be seen that dk is the tangent line of circle G, dk equals dh. And dk squared equals dh squared equals dfdm, so dk is also the tangent line of circle MFK. The proof is completed. Zhu Jian stared blankly at the more than 10 auxiliary lines on the map, a little shocked, but logically, he couldn't find any problems. Hao Yongjun patted Zhang Cheng's shoulder hard. Damn, I didn't expect that your level is so high. Zhu Jian also gave a thumbs up. Okay, Zhu Jian, will convince you. Hao Yongjun shook his head and said with a heavy nasal voice, then let's call you brother? Xu Saiyuan put down his pen and said, HMPH, give me another 5 minutes and I will prove it. Zhu Jian discovered that Zhang Cheng just glanced at it and didn't use the manuscript paper at all, which meant that he finished the manuscript in his mind. This skill was awesome. Zhang Cheng waved his hand. Naturally he would not fight for this first brother. Let's go by age. I am 18 years old, born in February 1993, from Guanglan County, Karlan Province. Hao Yongjun, a native of Quancheng City, Luhua Province, was born in May 1992. He was recommended here. Zhu Jian, a native of Yangcheng City, southern Guangdong Province, was born in October 1994. He was also recommended. Xu Saiyuan also agreed with age differences, and then said, Xu Saiyuan, a native of Sunan City, Zhongbei Province, was born in January 1993. He is also recommended. Zhang Cheng coughed lightly and said, I see, you all have special skills. Go, you're hiding it. Tell me honestly, how did you get in? Hao Yongjun moved forward and pushed Zhang Cheng to the side. The college entrance examination. Do you think everyone is like you great masters, and everyone is guaranteed a gold medal? Zhang Cheng waved his hand. Zhu Jian didn't believe it. Then you are the top scorer in the college entrance examination in Kailan Province? No, barely ranked second. Have you really never participated in a competition? I can do the competition difficult questions. You? Zhu Jian still felt that he couldn't accept it. Zhang Cheng opened his innocent eyes. Isn't this question just a little too many auxiliary lines? It's a little more difficult than ordinary geometry questions. Several people looked helpless. Why did they feel like they wanted to beat this pretender to death? Zhang Cheng looked at the time and said, let's go to dinner, I'll treat you. Let's go, let this guy bleed. Zhu Jian turned his pain into food, saying that he wanted to eat up Zhang Cheng. Huh? What do you call me? Third brother. Zhang Cheng took the three of them directly to Guanzhou Garden and allowed everyone to order freely. This canteen is good and tastes good. Hao Yongjun was a little curious. Why do you know me so well? Listen to what the senior said. Zhang Cheng explained. Xu Saiyuan frowned. Did you come in advance? Yes, I came here to check out the school in advance. Zhang Cheng smiled. My county is a small one and I have never been out to see a big city, so I came to check out the school first. You know what I am doing. Hao Yongjun said, it's our first dinner together, how about some wine? Some snowflakes? Can. HMPH. I'll beat everyone here in an instant when it comes to drinking capacity. Shu Saiyuan said with a proud look on his face, we should call each other brothers based on our drinking capacity. Otherwise, how can I be second in turn? Haha, don't worry, we won't call you the second child. Although Zhu Jian was ranked the youngest, he was not ranked second, so he was naturally happy. Go. Go, I'll drink you down later. After a meal, the four of them got to know each other better. Several of them are men in science and engineering, and they speak straightforwardly. Especially when they meet for the first time, they all want to create a good atmosphere in the dormitory. Everyone feels pretty good. They all think that some of the people in their dormitory are idiots. These 4 years should be interesting. Happy. After settling in, Zhang Cheng found that the three men were busy with their own things again. Zhu Jian has a foundation in programming and is used to facing code quietly. Hao Yongjun and Shu Saiyuan are studying freshman courses by themselves. Mizuki is reborn. Rolled up like this, Zhang Cheng secretly screamed. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng went directly to Zhang Taobo's door. Of course, in addition to saying hello when you check in, the more important thing is to use your library card. Roll it up together. In the evening there is a class meeting. The counselor is a graduate student. It is said that he has many titles and has won many awards. He is a bit bald, wearing a short-sleeved shirt and glasses, and presides over the class meeting in a somewhat uneloquent manner. The main thing is to choose classes to do this. After the voting ended, Hao Yongjun was elected as the Youth League secretary in the dormitory. The squad leader's name is Li Zhengtao, and according to Zhu Jian, he is also a great figure. He's still handsome, but he's still a little worse than Zhang Cheng. There were so few girls in the class. Zhang Cheng looked over and saw only 3 of them. They are of average appearance, one has a ponytail and the other 2 have short hair. Tisk. National treasure. The days immediately following were difficult. Shortly after the opening ceremony, military training officially began. The better thing is that Zhang Cheng and the others only have military training in school. Every day when I am so tired that half my life is almost gone, it is almost over. Everyone rushed back to Building 9 and began to rest in bed, slowly recovering their blood. Zhang Cheng regularly goes to the library at night. After having your own library card, it is naturally much more convenient. While uploading the manuscript of Jin Zhe, I continued to study on my own. Orange. The royalties will be calculated and distributed next month. Please confirm your bank card number to make sure there is no problem. Zhang Yi Suifeng. No problem. Orange. According to preliminary estimates, the manuscript fee is about 560,000 yuan after tax. How does it feel to become a god with one book? Zhang Yi Suifeng. Thank you Juzida, thank you Chengxi. Orange. How much more is expected to end? Zhang Yi Suifeng. There are still about 1 million words left, and they have been written. Orange. Really, it's over? Let me ask you quietly, did Lin Shao become emperor in the end? Zhang Yi Suifeng. Reject spoilers, start with me. Juzi. Well, we can only wait slowly, so are you ready for your next book? Zhang Yi Suifeng. No, I guess there won't be much time later. Juzi. You are at your peak right now, but you can't let your popularity slip by now. Zhang Yi Suifeng. That's it, I'll think about it later. Juzi. But I think your level of history and classical prose is high, and you can continue to write about fictional history. Zhang Yi Suifeng. Let's wait and see, it's still uncertain. Orange. 1 million words. According to your update speed, it can be updated for up to 2 months. You need to plan early. Zhang Yi Suifeng. Okay, I'm reading a book, let's chat next time. The good news is that a large royalties are coming soon. The news is not very good. The computer in the body has finished writing the book. It seems that it will not be updated for a long time, and I have to think of new books. However, Zhang Cheng is now under a lot of pressure to study by himself, coupled with daily military training, which makes him exhausted. Or, the whole ancient crime-solving genre. Yuanfang, what do you think about detective dramas like this? Zhang Cheng nodded, feeling that it could be considered. With a word volume of 1 million words, Zhang Cheng immediately set up scheduled releases for them all. Just copying, pasting, and clicking made Zhang Cheng's hands ache. On September 9th, the military training finally ended. Zhang Cheng also tanned, but his muscles were stronger. Subsequently, my university study career officially began. One variable calculus, geometry and algebra, basics of programming, discrete mathematics. In addition, there are some elective courses. The class is not tight, but it is not easy to learn it well. Here, Zhang Cheng has taught himself everything except discrete mathematics. However, I have completed self-study for the first semester of my freshman year, but not for the next semester. At 10:30 in the evening, Zhang Cheng came back from studying in the library. "Third brother, where have you been? I haven't seen you all day." Hao Yongjun, as the dormitory director and the eldest brother, asked in a thick nasal voice. Zhang Cheng answered honestly, "It's the library. Brother, we have just finished the military training. Why don't you work so hard?" Zhu Jian was speechless. "Too curly. I can't help it. I'm from a small county town and I don't understand many things. I have to study on my own," Zhang Cheng said modestly. Xu Saiyuan said, "Lao San, please stop being humble. Being humble will keep you away from us." "It's definitely not modesty. I just have a good memory. In terms of logical thinking and competitive thinking, I am far behind you." Zhang Cheng told the truth and did not lie. Then Zhang Cheng put down his things and prepared to take a bath. The lights go out at 11 o'clock, and it's inconvenient to take a shower without electricity. The three people in the dormitory are still chatting at this moment. Zhu Jian was in some pain and lay on the bed. "This third child worked too hard. After so many days of military training, my hands and feet are sore now," and he actually ran to the library again. Xu Saiyuan snorted softly. He is the second best in Karlan province, and is only 1 point short of the first place in the college entrance examination. His learning ability is definitely not bad. Although we are recommended, we can't be compared with him. Hao Yongjun nodded. "That question was difficult for me, but he did it without any paper. If the fourth child hadn't said that no one knew about this question, I wouldn't have believed it. Hey, let's study hard. Anyone who can come to Shuimu is a great master and should not be underestimated," Zhu Jian sighed. Zhang Cheng took a shower, which only took 6 minutes, and then he simply rinsed it off. He spent another 5 minutes washing his clothes. When he lay down on the bed, he still had 10 minutes to turn off the lights. "Third brother, you can't always run to the library alone without unity." Hao Yongjun was on the bed, facing Zhang Chengdao. Zhang Cheng had never thought about this. Is there such a thing? "That's right, you don't even participate in our group activities. For example, watching movies or something." "I'm sorry, I'm still young. TCH, don't pretend to be innocent for me." Hao Yongjun chuckled. "The fourth boy is pure, but he was quickly led on the right path by us." Zhu Jian argued, "Tisk, don't listen to Lao Hao's nonsense, I don't have any." "Well, we will participate in other group activities." Zhang Cheng was noncommittal. Xu Saiyuan snorted, "Let's not talk about these useless things. I think we have to keep up with the rhythm of the third child, study more by ourselves, improve our professional capabilities, and strive to enter the laboratory or work on projects earlier." Hao Yongjun chuckled, "That makes sense. Let's go to the library to study by ourselves starting tomorrow." "Welcome." Zhang Cheng was naturally happy. A studious dormitory also needs an atmosphere. Everyone needs to be early, otherwise you won't be able to get a seat. Hao Yongjun said, "Lao San, you left early. Call us when you leave." "Okay, but I'll only call you once," Zhang Cheng agreed. Hao Yongjun and others responded happily, but they soon felt the pain. At 6 o'clock in the morning, Zhang Cheng got up. Hao Yongjun was sleeping facing him, his eyes bleary at the moment. "Third brother, why are you up so early? Want to go for a run?" Hao Yongjun rubbed his eyes and looked at the time on his phone again. "Done. It's only 6 o'clock. If I don't go, I won't go." "Okay, then I'll go." Asked online, "How does it feel to have a roommate who is too self-disciplined?" Hao Yongjun closed his eyes in pain and fell asleep again. "It's Saturday, classmate. It doesn't matter. He just got up early in the beginning, but he won't get up later." On the court, Zhang Cheng was jogging. He set a wake-up alarm clock on the computer in his body. At a fixed time of 6 o'clock every day, a wake-up ring sounded in his mind to wake him up. He cherished this life very much. You must do well in your studies. You must also do well in your health. On the playground, some people are already running. Mostly boys, but also a few girls. Zhang Cheng ran 10 laps and was already dripping with sweat. He went back to the dormitory to take a shower. When he came out, several eyes were staring at him. Want to have breakfast? Zhang Cheng asked. Shall we go directly to the library to study after dinner? Go. Hao Yongjun gritted his teeth and got up. Zhu Jian patted his legs. Okay. After a while, several people quickly washed up and had breakfast together. Shu Saiyuan kept complaining on the way. Why are you in such a hurry? I haven't even finished combing my handsome hairstyle. The food in Shuimu Canteen is very good. At least for Zhang Cheng. This food is several floors better than that at Guanglan Middle School. During the meal, Zhu Jian asked Zhang Cheng, where did you learn on your own? I haven't taught myself discrete mathematics yet. I'm going to finish it in the next few days, Zhang Cheng said honestly. The three of them raised their middle fingers and said, damn, pervert. Hao Yongjun sighed. I thought we were already awesome at our original school, but I didn't expect that there would be even more awesome people in the world. Zhang Cheng said modestly, I just read it once. It's not like I have mastered everything and can get full marks in the exam. No matter what, the three of us have to keep up, so as not to fall behind others in the university. Shu Saiyuan adjusted his glasses and said. When a few people arrived at the library, they discovered that many people were reading and studying in the library very early. I have more motivation to work hard in my heart. What they can do, I can do too, and I can do better. Holding books, several people sat on one side and began to study seriously. Zhang Cheng made a brief observation and found that the three of them were all God-level figures. Freshman books were not a big problem for them. He himself took discrete mathematics and started studying reading books. Discrete mathematics, also known as discrete mathematics in English, is a mathematical discipline that studies the structure of discrete quantities and their relationships. It is a required subject for computer majors. Zhang Cheng taught himself Discrete Mathematics, 2nd edition, from Shuimu University Press. The first chapter is about mathematical language and proof methods. It is an improved version of the sets and logic learned in high school. It mainly focuses on definitions and mathematical logic, so there are no big problems. Continue to teach yourself quickly. However, some of the content later is much more interesting. For example, Chapter 11 is elementary number theory. It involves knowledge such as prime numbers and congruence. Example. What day of the week is October 1st, 1949? Do not turn the calendar. Here, using the modular transformation method in congruence, we can find it in one go. According to the date, it can be seen that C equals 19, X equals 49, M equals 8, D equals 1. W equals 49 plus 49 quarters, plus 19 quarters, minus 2 asterisk 19 plus 2 asterisk 8 plus 8 plus 8 sevenths, 2 plus 8 twelfths, plus 1 is defined as 6, mod 7, so we know it is Saturday. Of course, Zhang Cheng was also very interested in where these formulas and theorems came from. Most of them require him to get to the bottom of things and find the corresponding theorem proving process. There are some relatively simple theorems that he will try to deduce by himself. In mathematics, no theorem has a direct derivation formula. On the contrary, what is more important is the derivation and demonstration process. When it was almost noon, Zhang Cheng finished reading Discrete Mathematics from the first semester of his freshman year. Generally speaking, it doesn't feel difficult. Once these concepts and definitions are clarified, it is relatively simple to convert these forms into one category. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng planned to read related exercises and extended knowledge books. During the morning's self-study, Hao Yongjun and others held on pretty well, but by the afternoon, they felt a little dizzy. Is the fourth child in our dormitory the only one who knows how to program? Zhang Cheng suddenly asked after leaving the library and the others were preparing to go to work for dinner. Hao Yongjun said, well, Shu Saiyuan and I both participated in mathematics competitions before. We only know a little bit about programming and haven't gotten started yet. I'm sorry, I have been learning programming since junior high school, and I am familiar with C language and Java language. Zhu Jian was a little proud. Third brother, if there is anything you don't understand, you can ask me. No problem, I just want us to play a little game together, how about it? Developing games? Zhu Jian was a little surprised. Are you okay? It's okay. I know C++, Java, and Python. Zhang Cheng smiled modestly. As soon as Hao Yongjun saw Zhang Cheng's expression, he knew something was up. Damn, the third child has this expression again. Xu Saiyuan said that he didn't want to speak, and he would be slapped in the face if he spoke. Zhu Jian didn't answer the question and asked, "What game do you want to play?" "Let's try and learn first. I have no experience in making games." Zhang Cheng shrugged. Although he had no experience in making games, he was living a new life after all, and he still had some experience in the games that would be popular in the future. For example, Fengmi World's Crush and Match game is not available at the moment. For example, Angry Birds, Gods on the Run, etc. in China in 2011, the Android system was continuously spreading, encroaching on Symbian's share. However, during this period of time, Zhang Cheng didn't like the Androids with poor configuration and card usage. That's why after the college entrance examination, I will buy a Nokia instead of anything else. Of course, fruit machines were all the rage at the time, but Zhang Cheng didn't like it very much, mainly because he had no money at the time. Knowing the cutting edge and knowing the future, Zhang Cheng has many development possibilities. And since you have studied this major, why not get involved? However, Zhang Cheng naturally also knows that no matter how powerful he is only one person, and with the computer in his body, he is nothing more than *2. He needs a partner to develop the game with. Zhang Cheng thought for a moment and said, "Let's try playing the Minesweeper game first." Okay. Zhu Jian nodded. Minesweeper is a classic game. Trying to develop this game can make you more familiar with the processes related to game development. Hao Yongjun muttered, "FK. What are the two of us doing? We can do art or something." Okay, Hao Yongjun nodded. By nightfall, the three of them stopped following Zhang Cheng's rhythm. They found that Zhang Cheng's learning ability was so abnormal that he memorized everything after reading the book once. If you can't study with him all the time, you will be hit to the point where you have no confidence at all. If they don't understand what they have learned on their own, they can definitely get answers by asking Zhang Cheng. But several of them were strong-tempered, and each of them studied quickly on their own as planned. When the teacher started teaching, Zhang Cheng, after attending a few classes, said hello to the department leader and went to attend the software engineering class. He has to complete both degrees. In the following days, Zhang Cheng attended classes during the day and started developing the Minesweeper game with Zhu Jian at night. Look, this is the development document I initially wrote. In addition, I am interested in. Minesweeper is actually a classic game, but the overall design difficulty is not high. There are a few things that need to be paid attention to, such as how to implement it. If there are no mines in the clicked place, the blank space will extend and expand all the plots that have no mines. We have 4 layers for the entire Minesweeper: covering layer, mine layer, digital layer and background layer. Zhang Cheng held the design drawing and communicated with Zhu Jian. We can use the picturebox component to implement the interface framework. I can give this one a try. Zhu Jian nodded and took over the interface. Of course Zhang Cheng had no problem. I'll take care of the header files. When designing a game for the first time, Zhang Cheng didn't think about how big the game would be, nor did he think about innovation or anything like that. Instead, he started by referring to the classic scanning game. First, they designed a simple game with a 9*9 grid. Later, the two of them enriched the code and expanded it to intermediate and advanced levels. The two had a simple communication and planned to get started first by sorting out the basic game initialization interface and mouse gesture definitions. None of them are very experienced. When it comes to programming, Zhu Jian is more experienced. At the beginning, Zhang Cheng also stumbled a bit. After all, although he had tried many programming experiments on the in-body computer, they were generally exercises, which were somewhat different from current practice. The exercises only need to implement 1 or 2 small functions. But the real development of games is different, and you have to face various needs. Header files, also called header files, reuse global variables, functions, in multiple code files to prevent definition conflicts. Although Zhang Cheng had had contact with it before, his mastery was not very good. In order to improve this program, he was learning and experimenting at the same time, and slowly compiled the header files. Hashtag include stdio. H hashtag include stdib. H hashtag include time. H. Freshman life is on the right track. Zhang Cheng coordinated and attended computer and software engineering classes according to the curriculum. Some classes were taken together. At the same time, he followed his own study plan and got more exposure to software engineering courses. The rest of the time, he and Zhu Jian worked together to improve mine clearance. Game progress is rapid. By the end of September, Zhang Cheng's Minesweeper game was ready for debugging. Hao Yongjun provided some picture materials to make the simple frame interface look better. For example, the covering blocks on the thunder are more three-dimensional, and when the thunder is pressed, there will be a small explosion effect. Zhang Cheng copied the code, directly connected it through the LAN, and imported it into the computer in his body. Start the simulation run. After all, it is a computer inside the body, and Zhang Cheng can quickly debug it according to his inner requirements. Soon, he discovered many minor problems or areas where the code was not optimized enough. Fourth, look at this paragraph. What I considered before was to open the blank space and extend it in 4 directions one by one, but there are too many codes and it is not optimized enough. Zhang Cheng pointed to one of the paragraphs and said, I think we use a different idea to do this algorithm. While talking, Zhang Cheng started to change the code. If test mine x y equals 0, board x y equals for I equals x1. I less than equals x plus 1. I plus plus. Int j. For j equals y1. J less than equals y plus 1. J plus plus. Zhu Jian looked at it and nodded. Yes, this is better. Hao Yongjun was eating the apple and couldn't wait to ask, how's it going? Is it ready? Let's try it. Zhu Jian raised his eyebrows. Come on, I'll be fine soon. After all, this is my first game design. Although it is developed based on classic games, it is still coded in my own hands. There is no copying of code, and there is no monopoly on the world. There is a feeling of joint participation. After a while, a program with a size of less than 1 M was released. I shared it with Hao Yongjun and Xu Saiyuan through Kuku, and everyone started the game. Click on the program, and a sky blue frame interface will open. It's similar to classic Minesweeper, but there aren't that many options, only the 9*9 entry-level version. The game has 3 options: low, medium and high. The low level has 10 mines, the medium level has 20 mines, and the high level has 40 mines. Hao Yongjun played with it for a while and said, it feels good, especially this thunder explosion animation. Well, what I did is pretty good. Superficial. Xu Saiyuan snorted, quickly clicked with his hand, and he finished the game in one go. Master Minesweeper, clear it in seconds. Zhang Cheng smiled and said, I'll see if we can add an online function later. The 4 of us can compare our mine clearance speeds and become masters of mine clearance. This is possible. Let's just practice. How to implement these online functions? Zhu Jian's eyes lit up. This practice of minigames allowed him to gain a lot of experience. Although Zhang Cheng contributed more to the main program, he also participated in the development and basically mastered it. Hao Yongjun was a little anxious. Don't be too fast. Saiyuan and I are also learning. We are still learning. Wait for us to come together. He could tell that Zhang Cheng had a strong learning ability and good hands-on skills. Only by working with him could he master his skills quickly. If you just rely on taking classes, you will generally not be able to join the project experiment team until after your sophomore year. But now it's only been a month, and Zhang Chengcheng has started to take everyone to fix it on their own. Next time we choose a project, we can ask the teacher to help guide us. Zhang Cheng nodded. It's better to do a small Minesweeper now. For really big programs or games, we still lack experience. Zhu Jian chuckled and said, who told you, a pervert, to lead us in game development as soon as school starts? If we do this, it will be easy to make money in the future. Zhang Cheng blinked his clean eyes. That's true. Zhu Jian smiled, but I don't want to become a coder in a game company. Zhang Cheng suggested, let's take a few days off and continue self-study. During the National Day, we'll think about what projects we should do next. Do you have any good suggestions? No, third child, you can figure out what to do, and we'll just follow suit. Hao Yongjun said, although the pressure in class is not great, there is a lot of self-study after class, so I don't have time. Stop talking, I'm reading $1 calculus. Shu Saiyuan said very little, turned off the Minesweeper game, and continued to study hard. Since the beginning of school, Zhang Cheng has devoted himself wholeheartedly to the learning process. He will make 1 or 2 phone calls every week, and most of the time, he is doing self-study and programming exercises. Chengze, do you have a National Day holiday? Chen Ru took the phone and asked. I have 7 days off. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just study on my own at school. Zhang Cheng also knew that it was not realistic to go back these days. After all, Guanglan County is too far from Kyoto. It's better to move around and stop immersing yourself in books. Okay, I understand. I'll go visit Kyoto later. Zhang Cheng immediately accepted his mother's criticism and suggestions. That's about it. Winter is coming soon. You need to buy a few more sets of clothes. The clothes you wore before were all from high school. Now that you are in college, you have to dress yourself up. Shenru said, if you don't know how to choose, you can ask Xinren to accompany you. Mom, where did you go? Zhang Cheng said with sweat on his face. That's right, I've heard others say that it's hard for you computer students to find a girlfriend, but you have to. Hey, Mom, the signal here is not good. I'll call you next time. Zhang Cheng hung up the phone. I'm only a freshman now, and my mother is already so worried about me. Just as the phone call ended, Qin Jin called again. This guy's major is also computer science and technology, so he has kept up with Zhang Cheng's pace. Jinghua Northern College is not in Kyoto, but in Longge City, northern Hebei province. But it's not too far away, in Yanzhou. Noriko, how are you doing lately? Why don't we come over here to have some fun during the National Day? I haven't decided yet on National Day. I should continue reading most of the time. You're going crazy if you still read books. I've been dying to read calculus recently. Heaven, earth, why do you want me to study mathematics? I want to change my major. Qin Jin has felt a sense of pain since he entered Beijinghua Northern College. In addition to the high tuition fees, there is also an accommodation environment and class environment that seriously do not correspond to the tuition fees. The tuition fee is 15,000 yuan per year, which is several times more expensive than the 4,500 yuan for a general undergraduate degree. The accommodation conditions are also poor. The better ones cost 2,500 yuan per semester, and the average one costs 1,000 yuan per semester for 6 people. The 3 bunk beds are almost the same as Guanglan High School. The military training conditions were average, which made Qin Jin wonder if he had entered a school for liars. When the military training ended and classes began, Qin Jin felt that he couldn't read anymore. Finally, as the National Day approached, Qin Jin made a phone call and wanted Zhang Cheng to come over and play with him. Zhang Cheng wasn't surprised when he heard that he wanted to change his major. After all, with Qin Jin's scientific thinking, it would still take some effort to get into computers. Then what major do you plan to change? Oh, forget it, you are already learning this. How can I really change it? I can only find a way to learn a little bit. Qin Jin sighed. No matter what, he still has to finish the path he chose. Then if you have time, go to the library to study on your own. You can find some special exercises and targeted exercises. You can also find some open courses online. The lectures are detailed and it is easy to keep up. Okay, I listen to you. Qin Jin agreed, then come over for the National Day. We haven't been together for a long time. Okay, let me see how I can get here. Qin Jin was very happy that finally a friend came over. He had been suffering too much in this shabby school. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Cheng paid attention to the updates of his book. It has always been stable, but the collection has basically not increased much. It is approaching 30,000 collections, but it is difficult to increase. Those who like to read this kind of alternate history should probably have collected it. Those who don't like this kind of subject matter will not pay much attention to it. Not only that, There are also some bad voices in the comment area. For example, it's written in a sloppy way, it's ugly, and so on. But generally speaking, it received mostly positive reviews, and as the Jin Kingdom, led by the protagonist Lin Xiao, wiped out other countries one by one, the plot, hegemony, and war made people hooked. Inadvertently, Lin Xiao, who seems to be gentle but has a cold heart and a caring heart for all people, makes people want to stop him. There are also a lot of rewards, but Zhang Cheng never pays attention to it, nor does he send a single chapter or even a PS to thank him. The whole book is like a machine, with chapters and text, nothing superfluous. Opening Cuckoo, Zhang Cheng saw several unread messages. The first thing to open was Yu Xinran's chat. Yu Xinran. National Day is the day after tomorrow, Zhang Cheng. How do you plan to celebrate it? Will you go home? Zhang Cheng. I won't go back, it won't be long, so I'll go back during the winter vacation. Yu Xinran. Then you don't want to spend a week reading at school, right? Zhang Cheng. I have this idea, but I guess not, I still have to go for a walk, even for a day or two. Zhang Cheng. After staying at home for a long time, my brain is no longer active. Yu Xinran. I want to go out for a walk. Yu Xinran. Would you like to come to my school to have a look? Zhang Cheng. Okay, I heard there are a lot of beauties over there. Yu Xinran. Of course. Zhang Cheng. There are only 6 girls in our entire department, barely a fraction of the number of boys. Yu Xinran. Haha, there are relatively few girls studying science, let alone studying computers. Zhang Cheng. Qin Jin said he would go to his place to play during the National Day, how about we come together? Yu Xinran. Okay, you arrange it. Zhang Cheng. No problem. Let's talk in detail then. After all, they both go to school in Kyoto, and they often keep in touch. Although they don't have many phone calls, they often talk to each other. Yu Xinran sometimes asks some math questions. Of course, this is all child's play for Zhang Cheng. The next one is edited by Orange. Orange, is Jangda online? Juicy. Currently, an entertainment company is planning to purchase the film and television rights of Jinjie. Do you have any ideas to sell it? Zhang Cheng. What company? What conditions? Orange. Jinfeng Entertainment is also one of the top film and television companies in China. It has filmed costume dramas such as Step by Step. Juicy. I haven't specified the conditions yet, but I want to have an interview with you. Zhang Cheng. I have no idea of selling it for the time being, so I would like to help you refuse. Orange. Are you really not considering this? Maybe the price they offer will impress you? Zhang Cheng. There is no need to talk about this matter anymore. If it is a text publication, you can contact me. Juicy. Okay, your book is very popular and many companies will be interested in it. Zhang Cheng. Tens of thousands of words have been initially written for the new book. I'll send it to you for a look. Orange. Okay. Regarding copyright or not, Juicy is just the editor and doesn't care too much. The key is Zhang Cheng's next book, which he cares about very much. If he signs it again, if he can still achieve the results of Jinjie, it will be a great profit for him. Zhang Cheng. The Mist of Yunzhou. Attachment. Do you want to download it? Orange. The other party has received the file. Orange. Is this an ancient detective story? Zhang Cheng. Yes, I plan to take over the world of Jinjie as the main plot, and I will do some reasoning in this one. Orange. Is it similar to Detective D and Boy Bao? Zhang Cheng. Well, however, I want to focus on the story and connect the entire main line through the case. Orange. I just read one chapter, and the writing style is the same as before. I just don't know what will happen next and whether readers will buy it. Zhang Cheng. Let's give it a try. Orange. Okay, you can create the new book first and sign it in advance. Zhang Cheng. No problem. The book is called Jin Shi. Zhang Cheng planned to write the complete story of the fictitious Jin dynasty. If possible, he is also preparing to publish the entire fictional new history. National Day. China's National Day is on October 1st. In Kyoto in October, the autumn air is crisp and clear. Except for a brief moment of coolness in the early morning, it is warm all day long. Not too hot, not too cold. Zhang Cheng was going to go shopping and buy some autumn clothes. The clothes he is wearing now are still from those in high school. Although they are not very immature, they are somewhat not mature enough for college students. Nowadays, Zhang Cheng already has a little money, so he is not stingy. He bought 2 sets of clothes and trousers and carried them in his hand. When passing by Zhongguan village, Zhang Cheng stopped for a walk. Zhang Cheng was a veteran himself and didn't bother to listen to the other party's recommended configuration, so he directly stated what he wanted. i7-260 OK. Good for everyone. Motherboard is Asus TUF P67. Memory 2*8G. Hard drive 1 TB. Graphics card GTX 562G, 23-inch monitor. The brands chosen are all brands approved by Zhang Cheng. I bought another wireless network card that can be plugged into the desktop computer. It seems like you are going to assemble a desktop computer, but in fact it is not just for that purpose. Zhang Cheng still planned to conduct a small experiment. After the computer was assembled and tested, Zhang Cheng paid the money. A full 13,000 yuan. I asked the help from the computer store to deliver it to Building 9, Zijing apartment. There was no one in the dormitory. Hao Yongjun's family was close and he went home, while Zhu Jian and Xu Saiyuan went to study on their own. Zhang Cheng was also happy to be quiet. After turning on the phone, he opened the cover and raised his hand to touch the golden finger of the wireless network card. Touch with electricity. Unknown hardware detected. Driver software is being installed. Installation failed. Sure enough, Zhang Cheng raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and the computer in his body was about to add a new member. Through direct LAN connection, Zhang Cheng copied the driver of the wireless network card and started installing it on the computer inside his body. Soon, the hardware was recognized. In the internal display screen during meditation, Zhang Cheng clearly saw the wireless networks he could choose. Wireless in the dormitory. Connect TP-Link 521. Click confirm and enter your password. Soon, the computer in the body showed that it was connected to the wireless network. This feeling was very strange. Zhang Cheng clearly felt waves of data flowing in from his skin, and then processed into information. Opening the built-in browser of the computer inside his body, Zhang Cheng logged into qiandu.com. Qiandu search, QQ. There are a lot of links and content inside. Zhang Chengman is very happy. Now that he has a wireless network card, he has transformed into Qiandu Baishaosheng. Omniscient, omniscient. Later, Zhang Cheng downloaded Chaoko from Tungfei's official website. Log in to QQ. When exiting meditation, these display images have disappeared. But Zhang Cheng, with his thoughts, seemed to be able to receive the news he wanted to see in his mind. It was as if someone whispered in his ear, clear and clear. Zhang Cheng, are you leaving? A simulated voice rang in my mind. In fact, many people should be able to relate to this feeling. Our human brain will remember the characteristics of different people's voices, and then when reading this sentence in our mind, we will deliberately imitate the tone and voice of the other person. It's like the other person is talking next to you. But Zhang Cheng's feelings at this time were somewhat different. Because of his photographic memory, Yu Xinran's voice was recorded in his mind. Therefore, when exiting the meditation stage, text messages are no longer sent through the software. Instead, the brain automatically transformed it into Yu Xinran's voice. Simulate the sound produced. Zhang Cheng only felt a soft whisper, truly ringing in his ears and mind. No, we can't let this happen forever, otherwise Zhang Cheng will be disturbed by these sounds every day. Then there is no point in reviewing with all your heart. Through his thoughts, Zhang Cheng adjusted the buttons in his body to a silent state and prevented his consciousness from actively reading unread messages. This bad situation was alleviated. Zhang Cheng didn't want to be disturbed by voices every day and eventually become a mental patient. He told people every day that there was a voice calling in his head. Holding up his cell phone, Zhang Cheng replied to Yu Xinran's message. Zhang Cheng. Get ready to leave. While talking, he put on the new clothes he just bought, carried a backpack, and headed to Kyoto for business. After all, it was National Day, so the flow of people was obviously much greater. Just squeezing into the subway, Zhang Chengdu felt like he couldn't breathe. New experience gained. Don't travel on National Day. When they arrived at Kyoto Economic and Trade, Yu Xinren was already waiting at the school gate. She was wearing white short sleeves, blue jeans, and still had a ponytail. When she saw Zhang Cheng getting off the bus, she waved. There was a woman next to her, petite in height, with short hair and a round face, and a beige bag hanging sideways. Zhang Cheng walked up to me and said, "Squad leader, it's too difficult to travel during the National Day. There are a lot of people." Yu Xinren chuckled, and then introduced the girl next to him. "This is my roommate, Zhang Luokan, from Changshan City, Shonan Province." He then introduced to the girls around him, "Well, this is the top student in our class. Zhang Cheng, who rose from last to first in the city, is now at Shuimu University." Zhang Cheng nodded and said, "Hello." Zhang Luokan blinked his smiling eyes. "I often hear Xinren talk about you, but I didn't expect you were quite handsome." Zhang Cheng smiled and said nothing, thinking, "Isn't this obvious?" Then he looked at the school gate. "Ordinary." Yu Xinren smiled and asked, "How is it? There are many beauties in our school, right?" "Ah, I didn't pay attention." Zhang Cheng shook his head. "In my mind, I was thinking about drawing the building in front of me. Independent graphics cards have begun to work hard. While observing, I draw a picture one stroke at a time. Although it's just a floor plan." But Zhang Cheng felt that his eyes could act as cameras and the graphics card could assist in drawing. The drawing is not exactly the same as the photograph. The drawn picture omits some unimportant information and presents an artistic feeling. Through the wireless network card, Zhang Cheng transferred the pictures to his mobile phone. Under Kaka's internet speed, the picture was displayed after a while. A nondescript school gate. "What are you thinking about?" "I was thinking, is it too late to learn painting now?" Zhang Cheng retracted his thoughts and said with a smile. Yu Xinren was curious. "Why do you suddenly want to learn painting?" "It can record the beauty of life." Zhang Chengdao, "I feel that painting is the same as our design program. In fact, we want to present reality through a form." It's like a question that Zhang Cheng often thinks about, how to use algorithms to realize needs. Is that so?" Yu Xinren was speechless. Zhang Luokan pursed his lips and smiled beside him. "Xinren, your friend is so interesting, I feel so stupid." Several people met together to find Qin Jin. When he arrived at the place, Zhang Cheng believed Qin Jin's miserable cry. Sure enough, even though it is a third-tier college, this school does have some flaws. To live in a good dormitory, you need to pay extra. To eat good food, you need to pay extra. To have a good place for self-study, you also need to pay extra. Qin Jin looked at Zhang Cheng and the others with a bitter look on his face, and recounted his long suffering. What's better is that Qin Jin's school is not far from Kyoto, so he can be regarded as studying in Kyoto. In the evening we had hot pot at a food stall next to the school. Zhang Luokan, who both liked to chat, had a lively chat with Qin Jin. Qin Jin was like pouring beans, talking about his family's situation. According to Qin Jin, this kind of xiaozhibi jade-shaped one is his favorite. When the two girls went to the bathroom, Zhang Cheng started communicating with Qin Jin. "University is free, but you have to stick to your heart, seize every opportunity, and study seriously." Qin Jin grimaced, "But I don't like reading. Calculus is a big deal for me. Not to mention the discrete mathematics I need to learn later, it's like reading a book from heaven." Zhang Chengdao said, "These courses are not important. You can probably pass the exam. Just learn the Java language and master it. You can easily earn 10,000 to 20,000 yuan a month." "Really?" Qin Jin's eyes suddenly lit up. "You heard me right. As for books, study Java programming thoughts, Java core technology, and effective Java to death. When you learn, practice more, copy less code, and think more about how you want to implement it. After writing, correct and revise again." Zhang Cheng mentioned several books, all of which he felt were good in his extensive self-study. Okay. Although Qin Jin drank, he was still sober and nodded heavily. After listening to Zhang Cheng's words, he dropped a few science subjects and focused on reviewing Chinese and English. He passed 3 of them, which was unbelievable to him before. "Therefore, I believe Zhang Cheng. I'll find some more questions for you to practice later." Zhang Cheng patted Qin Jin on the shoulder and said. Qin Jin didn't reply, but instead pulled Zhang Cheng and asked secretly, "What's going on between you and the squad leader? What's the situation? It's not the case, really." "No, I don't have these thoughts at the moment." Zhang Cheng was speechless. "But you kid, don't let the sperm get into your head, or you will make someone else's belly bigger in college." "No, no, absolutely not," Qin Jinyi said sternly. "TCH, I don't know you yet." Zhang Cheng looked disgusted. "Oh, I have some of these seeds. I'll share them with you later." Qin Jin chuckled. Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes at him and said, "Send it via email." "Hey hey." While the two were talking, suddenly, there was a sound of fighting between tables and chairs outside. Bang. Ah. Then, there were several collisions and screams. It's Yu Xinren and Zhang Luokan. Although Zhang Cheng drank some wine, he had a clear mind and rushed out immediately. And Qin Jin followed closely behind. "I saw two people at the table next to me, and they started fighting without knowing what was going on." A chair was thrown out, hitting Yu Xinren and Zhang Luokan, who were about to return to the table. Zhang Luokan was so frightened that he covered his face and squatted down. Yu Xinren narrowly avoided the flying chair, but was still frightened. "Are you okay?" Zhang Cheng grabbed Tai Xinran's hand and asked hurriedly. Yu Xinren shook his head. Only then did Zhang Cheng let go and stood in front, looking at a few people who had already picked up the bottles and were about to drink them. But at this moment, everyone eating hot pot nearby was so scared that they ran away. "Damn, this bitch actually dares to hit me." A man with a tattoo on his arm, smelling of alcohol, shouted at the two girls opposite him. "You bastards! I'm going to call the police for molesting and beating people." The ponytailed girl opposite grabbed the wine bottle and said angrily, while taking her cell phone and preparing to call the police. But the next moment, someone took the opportunity to step forward and yank his hair, and his cell phone was knocked off. "You actually dare to beat Brother Tiger, don't you want to live?" It was a thin accomplice who said viciously. The girl's companion stood up to argue. "Stop, aren't you afraid of the police?" "What the hell?" As he spoke, Brother Hu raised his foot and kicked her to the ground. Then, he reached out and slapped the ponytail girl whose hair was grabbed on the face. "Damn it, what's wrong with you? You're still not convinced, are you? We still want to FK you?" While speaking, he raised his foot again and kicked the other person's stomach violently. Pung! A pair of feet wearing sneakers flew over and kicked the tattooed man's raised feet away. But it was Zhang Cheng who saw this happening and rushed over. "Damn it, kid! Why are you meddling in other people's business? Don't you want to live anymore? Let me go and get out of here," Zhang Cheng shouted. "Damn it, you want to get ahead, right?" The tattooed tiger brother had just been kicked. After he stood up, he became even more furious. He directly picked up a chair and threw it violently. Danger! In an instant, the computer in Zhang Cheng's body started running at high frequency. Speed: 5.3 meters per second, direction and expected impact point, head. Avoidance method: retreat 0.5 meters. The way to fight back also appeared in Zhang Cheng's eyes at the next moment. Zhang Cheng subconsciously took half a step back, struck out with his right hand, and firmly grabbed the chair that he just waved in front of his face. Then, there was another kick, directly on the opponent's elbow. The next moment, the gangster next to him who wanted to take the opportunity to sneak attack Zhang Cheng was slapped directly on the back by a stool board. Bang! Shoot people away, we're going to fight, right? Come on. Qin Jin's voice, accompanied by the sound of the chairboard being slapped heavily, came over. "Which school are you two from? Are you tired of living?" The thin monkey holding the ponytail girl's hair pushed the person hard and let him go. The girl with the ponytail screamed in pain, but she quickly went to pull her deskmate up, and the two of them hid aside while trembling. There are many scars on the face. They really didn't expect that they would encounter such a thing while having a late-night snack. The drunken tattooed man touched his chest without saying anything, but his curse words made the other man beat him up viciously. Someone came forward, a tattooed man, a thin monkey, and two strong men standing on the side, approaching Zhang Cheng and Qin Jin. Bang! The tattooed man breaks a wine bottle, revealing the sharp glass thorns. "You like to show off, don't you? I'm going to let you two see blood today." The other few either picked up stools or wine bottles and said viciously, "Tell you, if you dare to offend our tiger gang, today next year will be your death anniversary." Zhang Cheng grabbed the legs of the stool and laughed, "What a tiger gang, I think the scum gang is pretty much the same. Hey, Chungza, let's fight side by side again." Qin Jin drank the wine, and now his blood was rising. The thin monkey lifted the chair and slammed it over. Zhang Cheng dodged and accurately struck his hand with a backhand, knocking the thing off his hand. Brother Hu next to him took the opportunity to come over with a bottle of wine in hand. "Be careful." Yu Xinren, who was watching anxiously from the side, screamed, her heart jumping into her throat. However, her worries were unnecessary. Under the powerful calculations of the computer in his body, everything he saw seemed to slow down, and he was able to react quickly to all movements. As long as the body can keep up with the brain, Zhang Cheng took advantage of taking the picture of the thin monkey, turned around, and swung the stool straight into the face of the tattooed tiger man, instantly stunning him. The whole person staggered to the edge of the table. It's just that Zhang Cheng's body still couldn't keep up with the rhythm, and he was still stabbed in the arm by the tattooed man's wine bottle. And Qin Jin didn't give in too much, shouting while fighting with the two men on chairs. "FK your F-King society, you scum, you still bully girls, you trash." It only took a few minutes for the other party to become intimidated. The tattooed man drank too much and had no strength to begin with. He was so beaten up by Zhang that his forehead was covered with stars. The bones of the thin monkey's hands were sore from being beaten. He hurriedly dodged Zhang Cheng's next blow and grabbed the tattooed man in front of him, still shouting, "I made a note of it, boy, just wait for us." Several people said harsh words, each touched their injuries and ran away in a hurry. They were also afraid that the police were coming. "Zhang Cheng, are you okay?" Yu Xinren rushed over and pressed the wound on Zhang Cheng's arm with a tissue. Qin Jin also came over. "Chungza, you are actually injured, are you okay?" "It doesn't matter, it's just a scratch," the girl with ponytail said to Zhang Cheng and the other two. "Thank you. If it weren't for you, the two of us would. You guys should leave quickly." Zhang Cheng shook his head and told them to leave quickly. The ponytail girl nodded, pulled her companion and left. The landlady came over at this moment. "You guys should leave quickly, these gangsters are very vindictive, so be careful." Qin Jin and Zhang Cheng looked at each other and nodded. After paying the money, the four people left in a hurry. After they left for a while, the police car arrived. But no one was here now. Because of the proximity, Zhang Cheng and the other three did not stay here, but took a taxi back directly. In the car, Zhang Cheng, who was sitting in the front row, closed his eyes lightly and said nothing. Zhang Cheng was recalling the feeling just now. When facing a state of high alert, Zhang Cheng could capture every movement and calculate the strength, speed and position of every moving object. Not only that, he could also subconsciously display his own movements, responses. How to dodge, how to respond, from which direction, and with what force, can all emerge instantly. All movements feel like they have slowed down, flashing through the computer in the body instantly. It seems that you can learn traditional martial arts. Zhang Cheng remembered that there was a TV series in his previous life called Qing Yu Nian. Wu Zhu inside is a robot, but his strength is comparable to that of a great master. Zhang Cheng felt that he could become a master under the calculation of the biological computer. There is no other way, the reaction and insight can be off the charts. After arriving at the ground, Zhang Cheng sent the two of them back to the dormitory. "Zhang Cheng, is your hand feeling better?" Yu Xinren took Zhang Luokan's arm and prepared to go upstairs. Zhang Cheng waved his hand. "It's okay, it's a skin injury." "Okay. By the way, if you want to learn to draw, I'll tell you later. I'm very good at sketching," Yu Xinren said. "Okay. I'll learn from you next time," Zhang Cheng naturally agreed. After learning painting skills, Zhang Cheng believes that he can better express the things recorded in his mind. Say goodbye and leave. However, Zhang Cheng seemed to feel that Qin Jin was interested in Zhang Luokan. The 4 years of college can be said to be long or short. Everyone has their own happy life, but Zhang Cheng doesn't have to worry about it. If Qin Jin can learn the Java language well, he will be successful in university studies. Zhang Cheng returned to the boring self-study life. However, while he had time, Zhang Cheng looked at books on sketching and painting techniques while asking Yu Xinren about specific painting techniques on his internal computer. Zhu Jian was shocked when he saw Zhang Cheng suddenly starting to learn painting. "Oh my god, third brother, how did you get into the art of painting?" "I'll learn some basic skills, and I'll be able to better express my ideas through writing in the future," Zhang Cheng explained briefly. Zhu Jian was still confused. "Is this related to us writing code?" "It doesn't have much relevance." Zhang Cheng shrugged. "Actually, it's just an adjustment to the boring life of coding." "That makes sense, but since your handwriting is so good and you still want to learn painting, are you going to fill up the attributes of a man with a connotative temperament and not leave any way for us to survive?" Zhu Jian was extremely depressed. "It doesn't matter if he's handsome, he's so damn handsome and has so much substance. It's really the first time I've seen it." Zhang Cheng raised his head and looked at Zhu Jian's hairline. "Take good care of your hair. This is the right way." "Ah, you can't tell someone's shortcomings." Zhu Jian was a little crazy. "By the way, have you decided on any project? How about we make a jigsaw puzzle?" Zhang Cheng said directly, already having a project direction. Zhu Jian was a little confused. What jigsaw puzzle is it for children? In his mind, could it be that he was doing a children's puzzle? "It's definitely not just for children to play with. That's what I imagined." Zhang Cheng pointed at what he had drawn. It was a conch, painted very finely, but there were several irregular lines in the picture that scratched the picture. I think we can make a more distinctive picture and randomly split it through the algorithm, so that people will spend a certain amount of time to complete the puzzle." Zhang Chengdao, "Now is the time for the rapid development of Android phones. We can take this opportunity, develop some games, put them on the shelves, and earn profits." Of course, Zhang Cheng already has ideas on difficulty design. This is a game that Zhang Cheng wants to make money from. On this basis, Zhang Cheng also plans to set up a studio and gradually participate in more classic game design. Zhu Jian nodded. It's possible, but can it just be the two of us?" "Men, you can't say no." Zhang Cheng raised his lips lightly, but he was full of confidence. "Okay, I can do it." Zhu Jian clenched his fists and cheered. "What language should we use and what phone should we send it to? Symbian or Android?" "Mainly Android, and then Fruit and Symbian later." Zhang Cheng made up his mind. "Use Java to compile." "Okay, I'm fairly familiar with Java," Zhu Jian agreed. Both of them have the temperament to do what they say. Now Zhang Cheng explained the project requirements and program effects that he planned to achieve in blocks, and at the same time conducted preliminary communication on how to achieve it. This communication took a whole day. Zhang Cheng was still responsible for several difficult points, and Zhu Jian also took the initiative to tackle difficult tasks this time, taking over some tasks such as clearance logic and time control. According to the demand analysis, Zhang Cheng mainly focused on the realization of random block cutting of pictures, as well as the exchange of any two pictures and other key links. For the design of different levels, Zhang Cheng is going to make preliminary sketches. Even if it is just a level setting, Zhu Jian has already said that this is a somewhat big project. After all, there are only 2 people working on this project, and all needs must be realized by oneself. Even the level patterns and shapes need to be designed one by one, and the materials must be found by oneself. Fortunately, Zhang Cheng had a preliminary program implementation effect in his mind. Although it was not very detailed, it at least pointed out the direction. After the subsequent program requirements are basically realized, you can add some more requirements and sort out details such as animation transitions and picture gaps. The hard-working Zhu Jian once again started studying crazily during the day and writing code crazily at night. Looking at his increasingly bald hairline, Zhang Cheng felt a little guilty. During the remaining days of National Day, Zhang Cheng found an intermediary and first registered a company, Kyoto Fengwo Network Technology Company, Limited, with a registered capital of 1 million yuan. Zhang Cheng had 1.04 million yuan in hand, and an agency took care of other matters. Zhang Cheng himself served as the legal person of the company. Zhang Cheng and Zhu Jian established a studio called Studio 9#. The studio is under the name of the company invests, the products belong to the company, and the two people are temporarily paid salary subsidies according to the project development time. Zhu Jian's level is good, although it is inferior to Zhang Cheng's plugin, but Zhang Chengdu believes in his future. After graduation, you will either study for a PhD, go abroad, or work in a large company with an annual salary of hundreds of thousands. As for Hao Yongjun and Xu Saiyuan, they are not short of money on the one hand, but their skills are still a little behind on the other. Zhang Cheng does not plan to take them with him for the time being. During this period of time as a student, it is better to lay more foundations. The company was established, but it was still a shell company with no office space or personnel. Zhang Cheng's current income is not much, although the popular book, Jin Zhe, gives him a monthly income of nearly 500,000 yuan, it is still a bit difficult to open a company. With the studio and the project subsidy, Zhu Jian felt like he was getting a shot of blood and started writing code like crazy at night. And with funds, Zhang Cheng no longer needs to find materials by himself. Instead, I plan to buy it in a package. There are 30 preliminary levels in the design, divided into 30 fragments for beginner difficulty, 40 for intermediate level, and 50 for advanced level. In the imagination, the fragments are like broken glass, and each break is random. Here, the algorithm is very important. Another thing is that pictures are very important. It cannot be a simple picture, but must be integrated with the form designed by Zhang Cheng, such as a three-dimensional object such as a famous scroll or a famous dial. This requires good aesthetic and picture resources. When making a jigsaw puzzle, it is not difficult to realize the basic requirements. Zhang Cheng used the Java language a lot. During his self-study, the computer in his body automatically coded words and practiced examples for a long time, and he gradually became more familiar with Java. As for things like language, they may seem different, but they actually have something in common. Especially in terms of algorithms and thinking, they have something in common. Classes are still going on, but for Zhang Cheng and his dormitory, every day is an extremely fulfilling day. Early in the morning, Zhang Chengcheng started his morning run. With several people, he couldn't sleep much. Finally, he got up early, exercised, had breakfast, and went to the classroom or library to study in advance. However, no matter how early they are, they can always find companions traveling with them. By the end of October, Zhang Cheng had completed more than half of the puzzle game, and the basic requirements had been basically realized. The later stage was nothing more than art and optimization issues. And Zhang Cheng's online article, Jin Zhe, which he didn't put much thought into, is also facing completion. The readership group that Zhang Cheng was the only one to join was very popular. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. These chapters are so exciting. I thought Lin Xiao was going to suffer a big loss, but I didn't expect that he had a good plan in his mind. Even though he seemed to be suffering a loss, he managed to pull out these thorns in his side. Half drunk. This is an old trick. I suspect that Lin Xiao has already taken control of the court. Even the Emperor of Jin has nothing to do with him. There are companions on the road to immortality, but he is about to dominate the world. I guess Emperor Jin will not be so obedient. He will definitely have some tricks to deal with Lin Xiao. The sky sheds tears of regret. I stand as a witness, and the book is almost finished. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. It's impossible. Shu State is not that weak. It will probably take hundreds of chapters. Zhang Yi Sui Feng. At Tian Dao Lei is right, it will be over in a few days. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. No, Zhang Da, it's so fast, I feel like there's still a lot that I haven't written yet. Zhang Yi Suifeng. Everything that needs to be written has been written. Lin Xiao single-handedly helped the weak Jin dynasty achieve hegemony. He has already written about his merits and demerits, and there is nothing more to write about. Half drunk. I still want to see him give birth to 10 or 8 babies. Zhang Yi Suifeng. Kongtian regrets and tears. Alas, my hunch was right. There are companions on the journey of cultivating immortality. Will Lin Xiao just go offline like this? Will he not become emperor? Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. I also want to see Lin Xiao proclaim himself emperor. Zhang Yi Suifeng. I looked at what I have and there are only 25 chapters left. I'll upload them all in the past 2 days. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. I feel so reluctant to let go. So Zhang Da, where is your new book? Zhang Yi Suifeng. The new book, Jin Shi, will be released the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone will like it. Heaven Regrets Tears. A sequel. Half drunk but not in the river. It feels like it is a sequel, and it is interesting. Full reservation. In the computer inside his body, Zhang Cheng closed the group chat and discussed the new book with his editor Zhu Zi. For the new book, Zhang Cheng has already completed 600,000 words, so he is not too worried. He continues to follow the previous rules: 4 updates for 1,000, 5 for 10,000, and 6 for 100,000. There are 2 cases in the first part. Zhang Chengdu passed them to the editor and asked him to help upload them. He himself is also very busy, and he has to concentrate on conceiving the case every day to connect the entire series. Zhang Cheng is a fan of literal reasoning and has read a lot of books on this subject. I once remembered a joke: when your friend is looking at Conan and smiling at you, you have to be careful. The protagonist Lin Yang in Zhang Cheng's Jin Shi has a photographic memory and super mental arithmetic ability. He can also be regarded as Zhang Cheng's own projection. He was born 30 years after the Jin dynasty unified the world. From cracking a murder case in Yunzhou began and emerged in Dajin. With the heroine who is highly skilled in martial arts, she embarks on a journey of investigating the case. Involved in a huge dispute. The so-called detective stories are all Zhang Cheng used to attract people. The real core of the story still revolves around a series of secret past events since the Jin dynasty unified the 10 kingdoms. Therefore, Zhang Cheng called it Jin Shi. Zhang Cheng continued to write the book, and he felt pretty good. Some reasoning, coupled with Zhang Cheng's super mental arithmetic, and some modern knowledge of mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, make the protagonist Lin Yang erudite, knowledgeable, and profound. Dual-purposed, Zhang Cheng ignored the writing process for the time being. Writing books can make more money, which is naturally good. But this is not Zhang Cheng's main dream. On November 4th, Zhang Cheng's Jin Zhe was officially completed. The collection has exceeded 35,000, and the orders have exceeded 9,000. The highest order is 16,000. One book has become a god. With the completion of Jin Zhe, the new book, Jin Shi, has also been officially launched. When it was launched, the website heavily advertised, which greatly increased the traffic to Zhang Cheng's new book. In just 2 hours, the collection has exceeded 10,000. It was absolutely terrifying. However, the book review section is polarizing. Book Friend 159,821,474. It's actually about solving crimes. It's boring. I stopped reading. 88. Ruahua Yanyu. Only 3 chapters have been published, so there are only so many recommendations, just brush them up. But soon, under the pressure of Bai Xiaosheng, Bai Xiao and other book fans, he stopped taking the initiative. Although the style is different, people who have just watched Jin Zhe feel very familiar. Because this story inherits the story of Lin Xiao in Song of Jin. It has the same worldview, the same structure and language style, so it is not stiff. On the contrary, even though they had only read 3 chapters, the fragments already made them feel itchy. Half drunk but not in the river. This is the style I like. I feel that the protagonist Lin Yang is going to be involved in a big case. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. Zhang Da's new book, full support, sent by the alliance leader. P.S. It's too short. Zhang Cheng subsequently released 2 more chapters. The opening chapter made everyone feel happy. This book is different from the previous one. Lin Yang still knows some skills, so he will encounter more dangerous situations. This made everyone feel terrified, as if they were at the scene. Zhang Cheng looked at it for a while, then closed the web page and continued to test and optimize the jigsaw puzzle game. The outsourced materials have been collected, and Zhang Cheng still feels good. The picture material fits the material of the items in each level, making the broken items more textured. It was like a beautiful piece of art that had been shattered. Players, on the other hand, have to put their time and energy into putting these pieces back together. The difficulty and playability have been improved a lot. I have already designed the backend database. Now the server is on my computer. Let's try the online function together later. Zhang Cheng opened the game backend on the desktop computer and distributed the packaged game to the 3 of them. Hao Yongjun was very happy. Although he did not participate in the game, he put forward many ideas to continuously improve the game. After downloading with Sanction 9100, it is installation. The program size is less than 50 MB, which is not too big. Here, the exquisite pictures and textures still take up a lot of memory. Maple Fire Puzzle. The icon is a shattering mirror. Click to open, and after a while, the account and password are automatically registered and you enter the game. Hao Yongjun nodded. It feels more convenient, and players don't need to register their own accounts or anything. Yes, if you just play, there is really no use in registering an account, but I have also added a part to the settings, which can call and bind the buckle information, so that you can play online. Zhang Cheng explained, and saw that there are 3 players displayed in the background. Xu Saiyuan also modified his automatic account, called IM-Y. It feels good, it runs smoothly, and there are no bugs when entering the levels. Xu Saiyuan clicked on it and played it for a while, and gave it a favorable review in his heart. However, he soon became a little crazy. Damn, this is just the beginner level, why does it feel a little difficult? The fragments are not regular and somewhat approximate. The picture style of Zhang Cheng outsourcing is not the kind that is easy to distinguish, but has many similarities. There are only 30 fragments at the beginning level, which makes Xu Saiyuan's always great game level feel a little confused. Zhu Jian nodded. Third brother, let's add another level of difficulty. Let's change it to 15 fragments for the basic level, and change it to the epic level difficulty for 50 fragments. 50 fragments. Thinking about the pile of fragments over there, it would be difficult to find them. Zhang Cheng also felt that it made sense. It was better not to torture the players. After all, the players were gods. Okay, I'll change it right away. Zhang Cheng promised. We won't spread the word about this for now and we'll test it for a few days. I've got the product number of the game in the past 2 days, and I still need to find a publisher and negotiate payment. Zhu Jian didn't understand this, but where do we charge? Isn't this very simple? Just prompt for payment. Zhang Cheng smiled, with a confident look on his face. The game took several people in the dormitory to test for several days. After Zhang Cheng changed the difficulty, everyone seemed more accepting of it. And through the deduction, you can display the score ranking of your friends, which makes people more motivated. The time taken to pass each level and the number of prompts will affect the score calculation. After testing and making minor modifications, Zhang Cheng learned to encrypt and encapsulate the program. Subsequently, it was released on the negotiated Media and Yo-Yo software home. The game recharge is 1 to 10 diamonds. In the first 15 levels, 5 diamonds are prompted once, and in the next 15 levels, 10 diamonds are prompted once. You can recharge using bank cards or Zifu Pay. Seeing that the game was officially on the shelves, Zhang Cheng was very happy. Let's go. Third brother is going to treat you to a big dinner today, and let's have a beer together. Zhu Jian was still a little nervous and kept checking the background. Why don't we promote it, otherwise no one will download it. Hey, don't worry, we spent a few $1,000s just to promote it. Zhang Cheng didn't have much money for publicity, not to mention that this little game was still a bit small and more of an experimental nature. Hao Yongjun also said, we can also promote it ourselves. While talking, he sent the link and game screenshots to his high school classmates. The casual mobile game developed by Dash and Roommate Studio has been played. It is very good, you can try it. It's a jigsaw puzzle that tests your eyesight and intelligence. Mom no longer has to worry about my intelligence. Zhang Cheng took a look and sighed in his heart. It was indeed Hao Yongjun, and he was talking promiscuously. In the evening, Zhang Cheng invited them to a restaurant outside the school. At the dinner table, Hao Yongjun was a little jealous. Sister, your third brother will play with the fourth child. I thought you were just doing projects to practice, but I didn't expect that the games have already been put on the shelves. This time I lost a lot of money. Xu Saiyuan was much calmer. We can look at the third child based on common sense. If he doesn't go to class, he won't fail. However, third child, you still have to come to get out of class recently, and several teachers have called on you several times. Hao Yongjun reminded. Zhang Cheng thanked him and said, okay, I've basically finished my self-study classes at the software school, so I'll come back to class. You pervert. Several people raised their middle fingers. Hao Yongjun asked tentatively, by the way, third child, how old are you in our professional courses? I just finished the sophomore class, and I feel that it has become more difficult. Zhang Chungjung said, I plan to find a tutor, participate in project experiments, and work on a thesis. Your algorithm is so powerful, you can find Professor Yang, Shu Saiyuan suggested. Professor Yang, whose full name is Yang Mingda, is very famous in the department and is a master in algorithm research. I just don't know if I can get into Professor Yang's eyes. Zhang Cheng shrugged. He knew his shortcomings. Although he had a wide range of knowledge and a strong memory, he was still prone to detours when it came to algorithms. During these two projects, Zhang Chengcheng found that many of his needs were not scientifically optimized in algorithm design, and he often had to experience the running status of the computer in his body during the trial run. But the real experts can react quickly just by looking at the code. This method is too low. If you change to this algorithm, you can reduce redundancy and improve operating efficiency. Zhang Cheng needs to continue to study algorithms in depth and make up for his shortcomings. As for other basic knowledge, Zhang Cheng is confident that he has a relatively solid grasp of it. Hey, don't be modest. With your level, it would be a waste to continue learning basic things. Hao Yongjun chuckled. Zhu Jian also agreed, that's right, they will attack us all day long. No way, I never said anything. What you do is hit. Zhu Jian snorted, every time you feel a 10,000-point critical hit. Zhang Cheng smiled bitterly and shook his head. There was nothing he could do about it. Sometimes people are too good. That's it. After eating, we returned to the dormitory. Zhu Jian asked anxiously about the data again. Lao San, how are you? How much data do you need to download? In the background, Zhang Cheng saw the number of downloads. 36 downloads. Zhang Chengdao said, there are only 36 currently. Don't worry, if we play well, it will definitely increase. But it was Zhu Jian's first time after all, and he seemed a little restless. He has recommended it to his classmates and friend groups, and is now ready to post on the Shuimu forum. Zhang Cheng didn't stop him and sent the game to Yu Xinren and Qin Jin. I made a jigsaw puzzle with my roommate. Let's see how it goes. If it's still fun, help push it. Zhang Cheng buttoned up and typed something quickly. Of course, there is only one sentence for Qin Jin, my game, play it quickly. Oh. As the evening comes, the number of downloads of jigsaw puzzles slowly increases. Yu Xinren. It's so awesome, Master Shuimu started developing games in his freshman year. Zhang Cheng. Proud. Yu Xinren. Now that I have downloaded it, can I play it online? Zhang Cheng. Okay, I'll pull you along. Yu Xinren. Okay, just wait a moment and I'll pass it on to my roommate. After a while, Zhang Cheng saw his logged-in friend in the simulator of the computer inside his body. Of course, he pulled the opponent and started the PK mode. In PK mode, the random fragment styles of the two people are the same. In the upper left corner of the phone, thumbnails can also be seen to show the completion progress. Of course, due to the limitation of network speed, PK mode cannot see the opponent's real-time puzzle scene, and can only transfer data every 3 seconds or so. Jigsaw puzzle is extremely simple for Zhang Cheng. Zhang Cheng could memorize the complete picture at just one glance, and he could puzzle it out quickly. However, in order to take care of Yu Xinran's emotions, he deliberately slowed down. Because it was a beginner mode, it was relatively simple, so Yu Xinran won quickly. Xinran's happy words came from the button. Yu Xinran. Ha, how about it? I won the first level. Zhang Cheng. Not bad, not bad. Thumb, does it feel fun? Yu Xinren. It's fun. It tests your eyesight. Some of the pieces have similar styles. Yu Xinren. I want to play with Luo Chen, I know you will let me go. Zhang Cheng. Fortunately, my game level is average. Yu Xinren. Really, let's play a few more levels. While talking, the two played for a while. Zhang Cheng also rarely relaxed his body and mind. He lay on the bed and meditated with his eyes closed, but the computer in his body was playing games with the emulator on. Zhu Jian wanted to ask Zhang Cheng something, but was quickly stopped by Hao Yongjun. Shish, look at the third child, he is smiling in his dream. Only then did Zhu Jian react. He has been too tired for more than a month and needs to rest. You two are both iron men, so desperate, Hao Yongjun chuckled. However, I feel that developing games is not as difficult as imagined. Zhu Jian sighed with emotion. In the past competitions, there were more algorithm questions or code problem finding and completion questions. A project like this that is truly oriented to user needs has done well. Not much. But now, he is quite experienced. Hao Yongjun was a little envious. You just pretend to be a kid, huh? Take us with you to the next project. This has to be decided by the third brother. You kid, are you just hanging out with the third child? That's right. Third brother is of high standard and I admire him. Zhu Jian raised his eyebrows and said proudly. Maybe the publicity costs played a role, or maybe the game is really good and has the ability to pass from 1 to 10. By the third day, download data began to surge. From 1 or 200 downloads, it started to increase to 1,000, then 2,000. And momentum is starting to pick up. Player reviews are also excellent. There are no ads, no fees, every level is carefully thought out, and it's a conscientious game. 5-star praise. Fun. The score is 13,500 points. Who is higher than me? Haha, third brother, our game is popular. Zhu Jian was very happy, watching the potential rise of the game list, and it has entered the top 20. Currently on the list. The recharge data has reached 860 yuan from 0 yuan at the beginning. Zhang Cheng was also a little happy. Take this opportunity to transplant the fruit system. There are more wealthy people here. But fruit programming requires Objective-C, which I don't know how to do. Zhu Jian felt a little embarrassed. I'll do it myself. Zhang Cheng took over the responsibility and prepared to transplant it quickly. Zhang Cheng, the Maple Fire puzzle, does not ask for any permissions. In this regard, Zhang Cheng saves a lot of things. It's nothing more than changing the language. Although it takes time, Zhang Cheng has a secret weapon. The source code has always been in the computer inside Zhang Cheng's body. Zhang Cheng switched directly to Xcode and used his consciousness to quickly switch languages. The main algorithm logic is consistent, and elements such as pictures can also be shared directly, which saves a lot of worry. 3 days later, Zhang Cheng modified the iOS version of Maple Fire puzzle. After the test was correct, he applied to put it on the fruit store. The commission was a bit expensive, but Zhang Cheng had no choice. Soon, Maple Fire puzzle became very popular among mobile phones with both systems. Zhang Cheng also didn't expect that his first game would become a hit. But it's normal to think about it. Zhang Cheng has also looked at most of today's games, and they are still in the preliminary stage, and there are not many high-quality games. Zhang Cheng's game has excellent picture elements, and the gameplay requires a lot of attention. It takes some effort to complete the levels. The fragments of only one level are randomized every time, not to mention that there are 30 levels designed. This really cost Zhang Cheng a lot of brain cells. Zhu Jian, Hao Yongjun and Xu Saiyuan also made suggestions in this regard and thought a lot. Therefore, every level is very classic. Therefore, it was able to be spread by word of mouth and spread quickly. The existence of the PK system makes everyone more interested in competing in order. It seems whoever goes first will prove who is smarter. After the fruit system was also launched, Zhang Cheng felt that the download volume was increasing, and the recharge money was also increasing. Although the commission received is not much, Zhang Cheng believes that there will be no problem in getting back the money. Zhang Cheng normally took several professional classes of his own. When I got to the class, I glanced around and found that there were still a few people who hadn't come to class. After thinking about it carefully, I also remembered that Hao Yongjun said that there are several big names in his class, and they are now working on projects with their tutors, and they are probably starting their thesis projects. Sure enough, there are always great masters. Zhang Cheng just has good memory and hands-on ability. In addition to the compulsory courses, Zhang Cheng's self-selected courses were also fully arranged, but they were of no use. Zhang Cheng had already studied them all by himself. Therefore, in terms of course selection, he was still free to take classes in his junior year. Specially guarding Professor Yang Mingda, he finally let him guard him. Professor Yang, I am Zhang Cheng from this department. Can I spare you a minute to ask a question? Zhang Cheng held his notebook and prepared to ask the question first. Everything must go through a familiarization process. Yang Mingda still has white hair, which is not sparse. At this time, he looked at Zhang Cheng with his glasses on. If you're not in a hurry, you can send it to me via email. Given an array of size n, find the majority of elements in it. Professor Yang, I have tried the algorithm several times, but I feel that the time and space complexity is a bit high. Zhang Cheng described the problem simply and directly. Sure enough, when it came to algorithmic issues, Professor Yang Mingda stopped for a moment and started thinking. Yang Mingda thought for less than half a minute and said, "This is a good question, but you can start counting from the first number. If you encounter the same number, it will be +1. If you encounter different numbers, -1. If it decreases to 0, count from the next one. Counting starts again." I understand. Zhang Cheng also reacted instantly. Yang Mingda said, "Young man, algorithms are something worthy of continuous in-depth study. It's good that you have the heart to constantly challenge." Okay, Professor Yang, my name is Zhang Cheng. I am in the first class. Can you give me a business card? Can I send you some questions via email? After asking the questions, Zhang Cheng introduced himself and asked for his business card. Yang Mingda frowned slightly, but soon relaxed and handed Zhang Cheng a business card. "Why are you here to attend classes in your junior year?" "I have completed self-study courses for my freshman and sophomore years, and I want to learn more advanced knowledge." "Young man, you can't be too ambitious. Just because you've studied on your own doesn't mean you've mastered it," Yang Mingda warned. Zhang Cheng didn't refute. Now that he had an impression, the next time he would communicate via email to increase familiarity. Although he is powerful, he is still far from these giants in these aspects. Be sure to remain humble and cautious. At noon, Zhang Cheng sorted out several problems encountered in self-study and sent an email to Professor Yang Mingda. Not only that, in the email, Zhang Cheng also wrote down his solution and asked the other party to correct the homework. Good mentors don't come across often, so you have to catch one and plunder them hard. Then Zhang Cheng logged into the freelancer forum. After a few months, Zhang Cheng has grown from a newbie to a semi-novice. He also received a few orders, but they were not big, and he only made more than $100. Zhang Cheng didn't want to withdraw cash, just as a way to train himself. However, there are still a few such websites in China. Zhang Cheng was thinking, if he had money, would he open one by himself? After receiving another order, Zhang Cheng spent half an hour writing the code in his internal computer, but submitted it. No, the other party confirmed it quickly. Got more than 100 knives. It looked like it was urgent. Zhang Cheng can write codes very quickly in the computer inside his body, which is very suitable for finding these urgent orders. So I refreshed for a while, took a few more easy orders, and sorted it out by myself. After half a day, I actually made nearly $1,000. Calculated based on the exchange rate, it's 7,000 to 8,000 yuan. No wonder it is childish to say that IT greats earning hundreds of thousands a month are child's play. Zhang Cheng closed the forum happily and continued to delve into the algorithm. In the library, Zhang Cheng found algorithm notes and algorithm design for in-depth study. His previous studies were based on the basics of several programming languages, and he was already familiar with the use of some functions. However, Zhang Cheng still had a big gap when it came to algorithms and data structures. This determines whether he can become an excellent software engineer, code farmer. Even with his supercomputing power, Zhang Cheng still occasionally feels that he does not understand clearly during his studies. It feels like you clearly know the principle, but when it comes to applying it, you can't turn the corner. But this cannot be blamed on Zhang Cheng, but the deeper you go into these books, the more strange you feel. Okay, now you know that 1 + 1 = 2, please prove Goldbach's conjecture. Difficult books become more interesting the more you read them. When designing, we often face diverse needs, and they are not just examples. We need to use our brains to think about solutions. This is the beauty of algorithms. Any program, in the final analysis, is composed of ones and zeros, and is implemented using algorithms in programming languages. In the evening, Zhang Cheng received a reply from Professor Yang Mingda. In the email, Professor Yang patiently replied to Zhang Cheng and corrected Zhang Cheng's homework. Finally, Yang Mingda also added a sentence: "Algorithm journey is both difficult and interesting. If you are determined, remember to go further and deeper." Zhang Cheng pays attention to algorithms, and more importantly, he knows that many future programs will work hard on algorithms. They combine big data analysis and user preference analysis to specifically recommend relevant news, short videos, etc., and build a circle for each user. A circle that is both comfortable and stable. In the circle, there are people who share the same interests and views. Zhang Cheng will definitely enter these types of programs, so mastering the algorithms in depth will be his core technology. After Zhang Cheng wrote the letter of thanks, he did not immediately ask any more questions. He was also afraid that the professor would go crazy at night and block him. The next day, Zhang Cheng prepared the questions and directly asked Yang Mingda to teach him. After asking for advice in person, Yang Mingda became even more impressed with Zhang Cheng, and even exchanged links and contact information. A few days later, Zhang Cheng naturally chose Yang Mingda as his mentor and was allowed to study in his project. Implementation of face recognition based on MBLBP operator and multilinear PCA algorithm. It feels high-end, but Zhang Cheng knew that future mobile phones would all carry facial recognition technology. This is an important direction of current research. Zhang Cheng is not very familiar with the PCA algorithm. He has only come across it in books. He knows that its full name is Principal Component Analysis, which is translated as Principal Component Analysis. The principle is to project high-dimensional data and then reselect points for calculation and analysis. Because he could do odd jobs during the project, Zhang Cheng focused his learning on the PCA algorithm. He read all the algorithms in the library about this type of algorithm, and also read some recent journals and papers to learn about cutting-edge knowledge. I took a preliminary note. After the contact, Zhang Cheng was not confused at all, but basically able to react. Now, the project has reached its most difficult point. The PCA algorithm is a dimensionality reduction algorithm and a lossy algorithm. Faces are recognized directly through this algorithm, and the error rate is extremely high. Basically, everyone can be identified as Yanzu. Yang Mingda and other teams plan to use the MBLBP algorithm to first extract the features of the face image, then use the multilinear PCA algorithm to reduce the dimensionality of the extracted face features, and finally use the nearest neighbor classifier for face recognition. The method is good, but in the actual research process, the recognition is not accurate enough due to algorithm reasons. Damn it, third brother, you are so awesome. Did Professor Yang really let you join the project? In the dormitory, Hao Yangjun looked adoring. The few big names in the class already seemed out of reach. Unexpectedly, there was also a big star in my dormitory. Xu Saiyuan also rarely showed envy. Third brother, come back and take us flying. Don't think too much. I'm just here to learn from you. To put it bluntly, I just do odd jobs. Zhang Cheng calmed down and was not as happy as them. After all, I am only a freshman, and it is not easy to get into school. Zhu Jian nodded. It's time for third brother to treat us again. Zhang Cheng felt that his roommates all had the bad habit of eating big dogs. In a few days, our commission will come down. How much is it now? Zhu Jian asked anxiously when he heard this. Zhang Cheng glanced at the backstage. The income is still rising, and the recharge turnover has exceeded 200,000. The number of daily online players has reached more than 10,000, and the growth rate is obvious. Zhang Cheng estimates that around 300,000 downloads can still be achieved. Here, as long as 30,000 people recharge an average of 20 yuan, there will be more than 600,000 yuan in turnover. Zhang Cheng and his studio can get more than 100,000 yuan. Zhu Jian clicked his tongue a little. This channel dealer's commission is too high, otherwise our profits would be better. If you think about it, we don't even have a server. Zhang Cheng smiled. The art and music outsourcing expenditure for this project was 11,000 yuan, and the subsidies given to Zhang Cheng and Zhu Jian were 5,000 yuan each, and the cost was controlled at 25,000 yuan. But obviously, Zhang Cheng has made some profits from this project. As the number of players increases and they play more difficult levels, they need more prompts. Some rich people can easily charge hundreds or even thousands. After 1 month, Zhu Jian received a subsidy of 5,000 yuan. If the dividend is larger in the future, he can continue to pay dividends. This made him feel happy, and when he got the money, he would treat him to a meal. Third brother, I've decided to follow you. What do you think our next game should be? Let's take a rest first. I don't have time right now. Let's play a little game together during the winter vacation. Zhang Cheng waved his hands, not wanting to be busy all the time. Nowadays, Zhang Cheng still focuses on learning and accumulating experience. Okay. I will continue to learn more about Java, but I feel that I still have a lot of problems. Zhu Jian's enthusiasm gradually dimmed. Hao Yongjun joined in the fun. Even so, you have to take us both with you. Zhang Cheng ignored everyone's occasional banter and continued to focus on algorithm advancement. Professor Yang Mingda's topic is not big, but it has a relatively strong impact on reality. If you make achievements in this area, you can also form a patent, or sell it to related companies. It will be both famous and profitable. Of course, for professors like Yang Mingda, seeking fame is more important. In the project, in addition to Professor Yang, there are 2 other researchers and 1 undergraduate student. 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men's hair is actually thick and shows no sign of decreasing. They are all about the same body shape and weight, and they are all wearing plaid shirts, 1 white and 1 blue, but one is slightly younger and the other is slightly older. The woman is a senior in her 3rd year of undergraduate studies. She looks a bit older and has heavy bags under her eyes. Zhang Cheng probably wrote code frequently. Hello, Senior Chen. Zhang Cheng entered the laboratory and said hello first. Senior Chen, whose full name is Chen Hongying, saw Zhang Cheng coming, and her eyes lit up slightly. Zhang Cheng, you are here just in time to help with these experiments. Okay. Zhang Cheng was very talkative and picked up immediately with a smile. The so-called experiment is to conduct experiments and comparisons on a large number of pictures of people based on the newly improved algorithm. The camera is 2 million pixels, simulating low pixel conditions. Of course, there are also lighting conditions and so on. Zhang Cheng had some fun when he started doing it, but it soon became boring. There is a lot of repetitive work, and Zhang Cheng feels that the recognition rate is a bit low. A rough estimate is less than 90%. Of course, this is also the purpose of the project. What Professor Yang Mingda said is to achieve at least a recognition rate of over 95%. Because the effect was not good, Professor Yang Mingda organized the team to hold several discussions. The 2 graduate students were very active and put forward many ideas. Chen Hongying, on the other hand, is more focused on taking notes, and only occasionally makes a few unhelpful remarks. Zhang Cheng listened first and then started to participate in the discussion. But his idea is how to improve the recognition rate. I think we can try to optimize the algorithm in dark light and blurry environment sampling, and use feature enhancement. Zhang Cheng's idea is that in order to improve the recognition rate, it still needs to be photographed clearly. However, in this subject, there are many environmental variables to consider. Yang Mingda nodded slightly. Xiao Zhang, what algorithm do you think can be used to optimize it? Before identification, add a judgment algorithm for picture clarity and bright curves. For example, we can establish a trust area through a large number of normal and high-quality photocurve intervals. In the judgment, the range is determined based on the difference between the object and the function. Zhang Cheng's idea was based on reading books and papers in recent days. Although it was a bit paper-based, in Yang Mingda's view, the overall idea was still somewhat advisable. Xiao Zhang, your idea is very good. It has algorithmic ideas of deep learning and AI intelligence. Yang Mingda praised Zhang Cheng and pointed out, this is also the current cutting-edge research direction. The 2 male graduate students looked at Zhang Cheng with some surprise. Aren't you a freshman? Why are you so awesome? Yang Mingda then said, Xiao Zhang, you also participate in modifying the code. Okay. Zhang Cheng responded immediately with a happy face. Being able to participate has a different meaning. This is not just a chore. Of course, there are also some professors with poor moral character who ignore the efforts of their students and publish papers without even adding their names. Even if it's a 3rd game. After the discussion, Chen Hongying was extremely envious. You are so awesome, Junior. I have been working on the project for several months and I haven't even had the chance to participate in code modifications. Zhang Cheng was extremely modest. I just happened to read a book on this subject. I still don't understand a lot about algorithms. It's okay. After all, senior sister has studied for 2 more years and let senior sister teach you. Chen Hongying smiled and said, let's add a button friend. Zhang Cheng seemed to have a bad premonition. However, it is normal to ask friends for help, and Zhang Cheng did not refuse. Brother, senior will be studying in the main building tonight. Can I have a seat for you? Chen Hongying wrapped her index fingers around her hands and stared at Zhang Cheng, who was doing experiments, with a look of hope on her face. Zhang Cheng broke into a cold sweat. No, senior, I usually go to the library to study by myself. It's okay in the library, just leave a place for me. I also go late and often can't find a seat. Zhang Cheng didn't expect that this senior would be so proactive and still pursue her. His mind was spinning, thinking of ways to refuse. Then let me help you occupy it. Zhang Cheng suddenly covered his stomach. Oh, my stomach hurts. I guess I ate the wrong thing yesterday. I'll go back first and help Professor Yang ask for leave. While talking, Zhang Li immediately ran away. Incredible, this junior schoolmate is so fierce. I almost took action. Chen Hongying looked sad when she saw Zhang Cheng fleeing. It seems that it is not that easy to seduce the younger brother. Back in the dormitory, Zhang Cheng shared the matter with Yu Xinren on Cuckoo. Immediately got a lot of smirking expressions. Yu Xinren. Zhang Cheng, it seems that you are quite popular in school. Even the seniors have fallen for you. Zhang Cheng. Depressed, don't mention it. I think I will be very sad these days and can't do experiments well. Yu Xinren. Face recognition is quite high-end. I didn't expect you to participate in such a project. It's amazing. Zhang Cheng. Dei, what does this mean? I'm still planning to write a few papers. Yu Xinren. Look at how good you are. Come on, great master, help me with this math problem. Zhang Cheng. This is simple, you do this, and then do that. The cold in Kyoto begins in November. The average temperature suddenly dropped to 2 or 3 degrees. Zhang Cheng bought 2 pieces of thick clothes for traveling between the dormitory, the library, and the classroom. There is heating in the room, so it doesn't feel cold at all. Zhang Cheng had been living in the south before, and the temperature in winter was above 4 or 5 degrees. Now that there is heating in Kyoto, he is getting used to it. The popularity of the Maple Fire puzzle game has dropped since December. Although there are still downloads, overall it has slowed down. This is the fate of most casual games. The cumulative recharge of the game has exceeded 1.09 million yuan, and the highest-end rich have accumulated recharges of tens of thousands. The recharge rate of players exceeds 40%. Of course, most of them only charge a dozen yuan at most. Zhu Jian was extremely happy when he saw this. With the production experience of this game and the reputation of Shuimu University, even if he goes to work directly after graduating from undergraduate degree, he can still enter those big companies. In Professor Yang Mingda's experiment, Zhang Cheng had gotten rid of odd jobs and began to participate in the improvement and modification of the code. Senior Chen Hongying also seemed to understand something, but she didn't pursue Zhang Cheng anymore about teaching. This made Zhang Cheng a little embarrassed, probably because he had hit someone else. As time passed, Zhang Cheng finally submitted a good answer through the continuous learning algorithm of the code before identifying it. By mid-December, the project was almost in its later stages. After the algorithm was perfected, simulation and recognition tests were continued. The paper was assigned specific requirements by Yang Mingda. 2 research men wrote the first draft and then reported it to him for revision and improvement. Zhang Cheng used his ears to write down some key points of the paper. Xiaozhang, you and Hongying need to speed up the test. I took a look at the comparison experiments that have been done. The recognition rate has improved a lot. It is estimated that it will reach more than 95% without any problems. Yang Mingda reminded him, and he was very happy. Zhang Cheng nodded. Okay. The algorithm you proposed and perfected for nonlinear intelligent adjustment curves under dark light, I will write this into the paper, and then add your name to it. Yang Mingda smiled and patted Zhang Cheng on the shoulder. Thank you, mentor. Zhang Cheng was also very happy. Now, it won't be the 3rd game, at least the 2nd game. Yang Mingda reminded everyone again. The next few years should be an era of full-scale explosion of Android phones. Everyone's research focus can be on this aspect. In addition, deep learning and artificial intelligence AI algorithms can also be focused on. Zhang Cheng's eyes lit up, but he was also relieved. After all, Yang Mingda was a professor, and a cutting-edge professor in the computer science major. His acumen to these trends was naturally farther than the average person. He still remembers his previous life. With the explosion of 4G and Android phones, the performance of mobile phones continued to improve, and there were more and more functions. Technology seemed to have exploded in those 6 or 7 years. Of course, this is inseparable from the unremitting efforts of Chinese technical personnel in all aspects. These words also made Zhang Cheng's mind move slightly. New Year's Day is approaching, it's 2012. On Christmas Eve, the project was basically finished. Yang Mingda invited everyone to have a meal and then left to revise the paper. Zhang Cheng also said hello to the 3 seniors and said goodbye. During the research, Zhang Cheng didn't have much contact with the 2 male graduate students. They only asked questions about work. At other times, they were busy with the parts they were responsible for. Just talked to Chen Hongying more, however, I didn't say much later. The research atmosphere was not enthusiastic, nor was it the research atmosphere Zhang Cheng liked. This may also be because Professor Yang Mingda is a serious old professor and doesn't like students who are too lively when doing research. On the way back to the library, walking on Shitang Road, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but tighten his down jacket. It was really cold at night. The lights on the road were dim, and some people were celebrating, but most people were indifferent. In recent years, the invasion of foreign festivals has been quite severe. Even lovers will organize activities this evening to give each other apples. Zhang Cheng despised him in his heart. What kind of apple is it for me? Can it be as fragrant as my piece of code? When he arrived at the library, Zhang Cheng felt the warmth of similar people. Self-study and reading. Look, there are so many like-minded people. Zhang Cheng opened his laptop and checked the background of Chengxi Chinese network as usual. After the completion of Jin Zhe, subscription revenue is still growing, but it has slowed down a lot. The new book, Jin Shi, is still very popular. It was released 51 days ago and has been on the shelves for more than a month. The average subscription is about 10,000. All kinds of bizarre cases make everyone excited. Zhang Cheng raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and he was earning another 500,000 yuan a month. Alas, I'm just writing casually. Orange, you are finally online. Zhang Cheng. I've been busy lately. What's wrong? Orange. Jin Zhe is currently being published by a publisher. What do you think? Zhang Cheng. How are the conditions? Orange. There are 2 ways. One is to buy the physical publishing rights of simplified and traditional Chinese for 600,000 yuan, and the other is to take a commission on the royalties, up to 8%. Zhang Cheng. Royalty, 9%. Juicy. Okay, I'll talk to them again. You'll have to talk to them about the specific details in the end. Zhang Cheng. Okay, thank you. Zhu Zi finally knew Zhang Cheng's character, and when he came into contact with him, he always talked about things and never sloppily talked about things. However, both of Zhang Cheng's books were signed in his own hands, so he was much luckier than others. After reporting the situation to the manager, the company's publishing department contacted the publishing house. Of course, these publishers all cooperate with the company and have close ties. Good resources are also given priority by the company. Although Zhang Cheng is not a famous author, after all, the success and popularity of the book lie here. 9% people don't have high demands, so I believe the publisher will agree to it soon. Thinking of these good news, Orange hummed. But the next moment, I didn't smile so much. An author asked on Kuku why I didn't recommend it. Haha, don't you know why you don't recommend it? It was originally set up well, but after just over 30,000 words, it was written like a flying mess. Can you blame others? Even after I reminded her earnestly, I still didn't change it. Alas, why not be an author like Zhang Cheng? Don't worry about it at all. In line with professional ethics, Orange politely answered the button and then turned it off. The good mood was completely ruined. Chai Zui Zhang Cheng's book is here. No, it is to check whether the writing level has declined. There are already more than 800,000 words, and the plot has unfolded. The protagonist has fallen into a huge whirlpool. Although during the investigation, he has already felt a pair of invisible hands pushing him. But this feeling is very strange. Juzi looked at the book and could feel it, as if he had caught a fox by the tail. There is both excitement and worry. Look, this is the writing style, this is the level, this is the sense of substitution. Alas! Luckily I have the manuscript on hand so I don't have to spend money to read it. Kaizen. Smiley face. After New Year's Day, Zhang Cheng began to prepare for the exam. Although he didn't attend many classes, Zhang Cheng still attended at the last minute and listened to the teacher's focus on the exam. Well, the whole book is full of exam key points. Fortunately, the school is no different than other schools. There are no mandatory requirements such as attending classes or taking roll calls. As long as you can pass the exam, that's fine. Zhang Cheng also had to pay more attention to exam results and grade points. Be prepared for war with all your heart. I practiced all the relevant books and notes, as well as the collected exercises. Although it is not difficult, I feel more familiar at least. Starting from January 3rd, examinations for various courses began. 1 variable calculus, English, thinking, geometry and algebra, discrete mathematics, computer language and programming, introduction to informatics. Most have exams. The exams are also strict, but it's not difficult, at least that's what Zhang Cheng feels. After completing these courses easily in 2 weeks, Zhang Cheng was ready to go home. Of course, before going back, he still had to finalize his project plans for the winter vacation. Well, wait for Qin Jin and Yu Xinren by the way. Go back together, at least have a companion. Just after the exam ended, Yang Hua, editor of Jinghua Publishing House, contacted Zhang Cheng. After communicating on the phone, the two contacted and signed a contract through QQ. Just print and sign the contract and send it out. The main reason is that Zhang Cheng doesn't want to cause trouble. Yang Hua. I have read all the books from Zhang University and found them very exciting. I didn't expect him to be a top student at Shuimu University. No wonder he has such a rich reserve of literary and historical knowledge. Zhang Cheng. Editor-in-Chief Yang has given me too much praise. Yang Hua. This is the revised agreement, please take a look. Yang Hua. Simplified and Traditional Chinese Publishing Agreement. Doc. Do you want to download? Zhang Cheng quickly downloaded it and checked it out, but found no problems. He replied directly, okay. Send me the address and I'll send it out in the afternoon. Yang Hua. It was a pleasure to talk to Zhang Da. I will come to Kyoto Shuimu if I have time to have a long chat with him. Zhang Cheng. Let's wait until school starts next spring. Yang Hua. Okay. It will be initially divided into 7 parts. We will proofread the first 2 parts and publish them in 2 months, with a first release of 100,000 copies. Yang Hua. We will contact you about the specific cover design as soon as possible and try to finalize it as soon as possible. By the way, Zhang Da, what is your address? We will send 20 copies by then, which can be collected or given to friends. Zhang Cheng. Building 9, Zijing Apartment, Mizuki University, Kyoto, Zhangchengshu. Zhang Cheng then thanked him and closed the button. However, there is still some hope in my heart. After all, this is the first time he has published a book in his life. Although it is online literature, it did take him a lot of time, multitasking, to write it. Even if the royalties are calculated based on a copy of 100,000 yuan, Zhang Cheng estimates that the royalties for each film will be around 300,000 yuan. Of course, this is before tax. He has saved more than 3 million yuan in his hand, plus the share of Maple Fire Company's first game has reached 260,000 yuan. Zhang Cheng felt like he had suddenly become a rich man. Of course, he also knew that if he really needed this little money to run a big company, he wouldn't even be able to pay him a month or two's salary. In the name of the company, 50,000 yuan in bonuses and dividends were given to the studio. Zhang Cheng and Zhu Jian. One received 30,000 yuan and the other received 20,000 yuan. For Zhang Cheng, it's a bit like taking the left hand with the right hand, but it is also necessary. When it comes to code contributions, Zhu Jian cannot compare to him. The bonus of 20,000 yuan at the end of the year made Zhu Jian completely a follower, asking Zhang Cheng every day what game he would play next. Some ideas were also mentioned. It seems that making money is the way to go. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng felt like he needed to sort out his plans for next year. Fujing Street Commercial District. Zhang Cheng has already booked a berth for tomorrow, but before going home, he wants to buy some clothes for his parents. But his taste was not good, and he had looked around but couldn't choose the right one, so he called Yu Xinren to help with reference. Zhang Cheng, what do you think of this? Yu Xinren was more enthusiastic than Zhang Cheng at the moment and looked at each store. What he was referring to now was a black woolen coat. Zhang Cheng is not good at aesthetics of clothes. It's very good. Why don't I buy this? I think my uncle is quite tall, so this coat should be suitable for him. Yu Xinren also nodded, then looked at the label and stuck out his tongue. It's just that the price is a bit expensive. Zhang Cheng asked, how much? More than 2,000. I bought it. Zhang Cheng said proudly now that he had money. Yu Xinren smiled and said, it looks like you made a lot of money from that game. That's right, I made more than 200,000 yuan in a small way, Zhang Cheng said modestly. Local tycoon. Yu Xinren snorted, let's go. Let's choose clothes for auntie. Come on, let's hurry up. Women's clothes are more difficult to buy. Zhang Cheng could see that girls are indeed slower in choosing clothes. Finally, after walking around most of the shopping mall, I bought some clothes for Chen Ru, a beige down jacket. After loading the new clothes into the suitcase, the two of them waited for Qin Jin to come over and join them. The three of them were all studying in Kyoto, so they looked after each other. At least the journey won't be lonely. The train from Kyoto to Linzhou City is still a green car and runs a bit slowly. In his previous life in Chengdu, Zhang only chose bullet trains or high-speed trains. Although he didn't look down on these cars, he somewhat disliked them. However, the sound of the train, clanging and clanging, came, but it was inexplicably quiet. It seemed like time passed slowly at this moment. But the careless voice broke the tranquility. Chengza, you enjoy it the most. Every time you have to take a plane or a sleeper, the fare is too expensive. Qin Jin sat down on the folding stool by the window and said loudly. Outside the car window, there are houses that are getting further and further away, and the sky is getting dark. Zhang Cheng was looking at his cell phone. At this time, he raised his head and smiled at Qin Jin and cursed, you rich man, how can you still not be able to sit up? I really want you to sit on a hard seat for nearly 20 hours. I wonder if you are not crazy. That's true, Guanglin is still too far away. It takes 20 hours by train and a 4-hour bus ride. Qin Jin sighed with emotion, and suddenly looked over. Chengza, what are you looking at? Novel. Zhang Cheng raised his phone to see what he saw clearly. Qin Jin chuckled. You can also read novels. Is it that kind of novel? Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes at him. What are you thinking about? I'm really not used to this phone of yours. Why don't you buy some fruit or sangshing? Qin Jin fumbled and pressed return. He slowly switched to 2G network speed and waited for a while before he saw the book. The name, it's Jin Zhe. Yu Xinren, who was on the upper bunk, was about to get down when she heard this and was a little surprised. Zhang Cheng, do you also watch Jin Zhe? Well, I'll check it out occasionally, Zhang Cheng said honestly. The books I wrote, although I was busy writing them, have a firm memory, but I have never actually read them several times on my mobile phone. Yu Xinren brushed her hair from her forehead and said with a smile, this book is very good. Everyone in our dormitory has read it and is now following Jin Shi. I've read it for a while, but I don't read much historical novels. I read more fantasy martial arts. Qin Jin handed back the phone, but the author of this book is really awesome. He became a god with one book. By the way, the author's pen name is almost the same as your nickname, Qin Jin said with a smile. Zhang Cheng was speechless. What's the matter? Can't I be the author of Song of Jin? Yu Xinren was the first to react. Is it really you? I don't believe it. Qin Jin insisted that it was just a coincidence. Zhang Cheng smiled and clicked on the backstage of the author area, where 2 books were placed brightly. Although there is no cover image loaded, the title of the book is clear. Song of Jin, complete version, with 2.35 million words and a collection of 104,800. Jin Shi is being serialized, with a word count of 1.28 million words and a collection of 112,000. Holy shit, there's no justice, Shin Jin couldn't help but said loudly. This time, he attracted unkind looks from other people in the sleeper berth. Zhang Cheng hurriedly patted his head. Why are you yelling? You pervert. Shin Jin looked sad and angry. He just wanted to go back to the lower bunk, cover himself with a quilt, and moan. Yu Xinren raised the corners of her mouth and praised. I was wondering if it was you before, but I felt like you were studying computer science and had no time to write. It's just a daily update. It's just childish. Zhang Cheng waved his hand and said exaggeratedly. Pooch. Chuckled. Yu Xinren pursed her lips and said, Shin Jin is right, you do have some. You must be a pervert. Shin Jin snorted towards Zhang Cheng as if he had met a close friend. Didn't you make a lot of money from this book? Yu Xinren asked curiously. Fortunately, it seems to be only over 3 million now. Zhang Cheng raised his eyebrows and smiled again, but my book is about to be published, and I will give you a copy later. Shin Jin was still a little indignant. You still have to sign the book for us. Okay, no problem. Zhang Cheng naturally agreed. When it was time for dinner, Zhang Cheng started making instant noodles. He still has some research on instant noodles. Here, look, put the dough first, then soak it in hot water. After a minute, we poured out the water, used a fork to spread the dough, and then put the water and seasonings. Yu Xinren was like a curious baby, following along and learning every step carefully. Shin Jin, who was eating instant noodles on the side, suddenly felt that the noodles in his hand were no longer fragrant and his stomach was full. Oh, my dear, isn't your school food bad? Why have you lost weight? As soon as they arrived home, Shen Ru came up and held hands and looked around carefully. Only then did Zhang Cheng take off his backpack and put the suitcase aside. Mom, I haven't lost weight yet. I weighed myself and I gained a pound or two, Zhang Cheng said with a smile, bulging the muscles in his hands as he spoke. Shen Ru pulled Zhang Cheng to sit down. My body is a bit stronger, but my face is thinner. Are you tired from having a lot of classes in school? You're not tired. Those classes are very simple. Your son learned it in no time. Zhang Cheng patted Shen Ru's hand with a confident look on his face. Shen Ru was very proud. That's right, my son is the top pick in the city. A while ago, Shen Ru called and said that she wanted to change the name of the small store to Zhuangyuan Nanzong store. Zhang Cheng felt a little embarrassed at that time and quickly refused. He is not a high-profile person. Zhang Cheng added, by the way, Mom, I bought some clothes for you and Dad and brought them back in a suitcase. Then he opened the suitcase and took out the down jacket. Come on, how about giving it a try? You are still in school. Why are you buying us clothes so well? Shen Ru said slightly reproachfully. But in my heart, it is as sweet as honey. Although she is not too old, 44 years old, she usually does not pay much attention to maintenance and wears relatively simple clothes. So although he was scolded, he happily took off his red coat and put it on instead. The fabric is quite comfortable. Zhang Cheng asked his mother to turn around and said with a smile, does it fit you? It fits. I didn't expect my baby to have such good eyesight. The smile on Shen Ru's face kept spreading. She even ran to the small mirror on the side and took a closer look. The more she looked, the more satisfied she became. Zhang Cheng explained, I don't know how to choose either. Xinren helped me choose. Oh, it's that girl, no wonder. Shen Ru smiled heartily, becoming even more satisfied. This is for Dad, look. Zhang Cheng picked up the woolen coat he bought for Zhang Yiping again. Shen Ru walked closer, took a look, and touched the fabric. You should be able to wear it. Are these two clothes expensive? Fortunately, it's not very expensive. They say it's not expensive. Look at this tag. It's 2,699. Hey, you don't have to spend the reward money. You have to keep it for your wife. Shen Ru looked at the price and felt a little reluctant to part with it. Zhang Cheng smiled and patted his chest. Mom, don't worry, I can make money on my own. A few months ago, my roommate and I developed a small game and earned more than 200,000. Is it the spelling thing your dad said last time? Yes, jigsaw puzzle. Zhang Cheng said, here, The new mobile phone I bought you has my game installed on it, called Maple Fire Puzzle. It's a Sangsheng 9100. After hearing this, Chen-Ru finally accepted it. My child is still promising, but it's different after going to Shuimu University. Zhang Cheng smiled and didn't defend himself. In the eyes of their parents, if they can go to Shuimu University, they are different from other children. That's the best guy. I made dumplings tonight. You are tired after riding in the car all day. Go and have a rest. Chen-Ru took her new mobile phone and did not open it in a hurry. Instead, she pulled Zhang Cheng towards the attic. I'll take care of these in the box. Zhang Cheng was not sleepy. After all, he fell asleep in the car. But he still obeyed and went upstairs and returned to his room. I haven't been home for nearly half a year. When I opened the door, I still saw a familiar room and layout. Bookshelves and desks are spotless. The bed and bedding are freshly washed and dried, and they smell warm and fragrant. Zhang Cheng put down his backpack and lay lazily on the bed. Close your eyes lightly and relax your body and mind. Qin Jin's news came from the computer inside his body. Qin Jin. Chengza, I'm home. Where should we go to play these 2 days? Zhang Cheng. Let's rest at home for 2 days. I don't want to go anywhere. Qin Jin. That won't work, that's too homely. I've discovered that those of us who study computers are too homely, and that's not good. Zhang Cheng. What's wrong with this? Qin Jin. Think about it, if you stay at home all the time, you will lose interest in the colorful world outside, and you will easily become depressed. Zhang Cheng. God is so depressed. There is no scientific basis for this. Qin Jin. Don't talk about anything else. Let's go to the internet cafe tomorrow morning. Zhang Cheng. Okay. Zhang Cheng was a little helpless. After replying to Qin Jin, he saw Yu Xinran's news again. Are you home yet? Zhang Cheng thought input method and quickly responded to the message. Here we are. Brother Yu is lying on the bed. Yu Xinran. Hee, can uncle and auntie wear the clothes? Are you satisfied? Satisfied, it fits. Zhang Cheng replied, you still have good taste. Thank you. Why are you being polite to me? I'll buy you milk tea later. Okay. The two ended their chat. Zhang Cheng temporarily relaxed his mood and closed his eyes to rest. No matter what happens, it's rare to be at home today and have some rest. In the evening, Zhang Yiping came back and tried on the clothes. He felt that they fit him very well and he was very satisfied. Then the two packed up their clothes and prepared to wear them during the new year. Zhang Cheng. At night, the river breeze blows. Zhang Cheng walked alone on the road along the river, walking slowly along the river. The lights along the coast suddenly started to get better. Maybe it was the new year, and everything looked very bright. Although it was only half a year, Zhang Cheng could still see the changes on the other side of the river. There were new developments and new roads. The house price is currently about 3,000 yuan per square meter, which is not high. Zhang Cheng's impression is that house prices started to rise rapidly after 14 years. The family has always lived in a loft. Although it has a store, it is somewhat depressing. It's time to buy a house. Although Zhang Cheng knew that house prices would almost double in the future, he had no idea of speculating in real estate. In his eyes, real estate should not become a blood-sucking profiteering industry. It's all the hard-earned money of the working people. After working hard for most of his life, in order to buy a house for his son and find a wife, not only did he lose his savings, but he also had to rack up a lot of debt. Just for those dozens of square meters. In Zhang Cheng's mind, housing prices should correspond to the average salary of most people. Today's house prices are still a little expensive in this regard, but when they rise to more than 6,000 later, it will indeed be excessive. Everyone's salary has not doubled. Guanglin County is just a small county. Therefore, Zhang Cheng only planned to buy one house to change his parents' living environment. The house was just needed, and it was enough to have one to live in. In 2012, Zhang Cheng began to recall it again. What happened, and what do we need to plan now? Weixin, which became very popular this year, also began to replace Kuku's chat status. Zhang Cheng is also using it now, but not much. He still mainly communicates with his classmates through the button. This year, Rebirth will release the Rise 2 mobile phone, and Guoguo will release the Fruit 5. Generally speaking, mobile phone technology has improved, but not significantly. In terms of computers, the internet factory is still squeezing out toothpaste, the agricultural enterprises are half dead, and there has not been a lot of progress in various hardware. Of course, this is compared to the previous year, but there is still some progress. Zhang Cheng plans to develop some classic and good games. For example, Xiao Xiaolei and Metro Run. These two are classics of casual games, and Zhang Cheng plans to get them first. In addition to casual games, Zhang Cheng also plans to develop some important software and programs, or invest in potential companies. For example, Ziji Jump, BuyStation, and Douyin. If he has enough money, Zhang Cheng also plans to enter the mobile phone industry. You know, this time point is still just right. Hey, when I think about it, there are still a lot of things that need to be done as soon as possible. Otherwise, if we miss this opportunity, we won't have such a good opportunity. Zhang Cheng sighed with emotion. Time waits for no one and it is urgent. But Zhang Cheng is just a college student now, and he doesn't have much capital at hand. It's not easy to support his dream now. But no matter what, this year, Zhang Cheng must speed up to make money and do what he wants to do quickly. He believes that as long as he has the technology, money will not be a problem.